feature presentation.
And it's time once again for the Wednesday Night Delight. This is the Untitled Movie Show for Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. I'm, of course, your host with the most, Mr. Miguel Leon. And we've got the cast and crew here to talk about news. But first, let's introduce our usual suspects. To my center, we have the man himself responsible for I Got Gameplay, Mr. Michael Burham.
And the Nerd Genius, if you could go to our updated site at www.nerdgenius.com, where you have this and many other shows, plus an article that has reached over hundreds and hundreds of views by
When did you turn into a thespian?
By Mr. One, Brandon Ligon.
Yes, the Kaiser Soze of the podcast, I like to say. Or the Kaiser Soze of the internet radio podcast.
I was going to give Brandon the last but not least intro, but thanks for introducing him early. We have the man responsible for the Slamcast coming over to my show to give raise the bar in terms of class around here, classy man, Mr. Brandon Ligon.
Ow. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm glad to be here. I mean, you're talking Star Wars, so I figured I should be here. Chief Star Wars correspondent and all.
Chief Star Wars correspondent.
Brandon's here.
Eventually, I do want to do a retrospective on Star Wars and talk about the 6 films. I guarantee you the day I do that, you will be on my list of people to bring on.
I think that should be our Christmas special.
Fucking better be.
And I guarantee you will be trolled the fuck out of when people be like, "Man, I didn't like that movie. Fuck you. Fuck you." Sorry, I'm just reimagining the memories of me and the Silent Hill nerds.
Yeah.
It might be worse. Hey, that might actually get us some huge hits. We might reach 300 or 400 by the end of that episode.
By the way, I think this is actually part 50. You're actually on your, I believe you are on your 50th episode of the Untitled Movie Show, Miguel.
Well, the first episode I did was in mid-January, I believe, so I'm not sure if that's the case. I would have to check to see what the date.
I will too. I will have to go back and check.
I'll tell you what, Miguel, you check your math, but me and Mr. Burhan, because we are correct, will check our maths. Sorry.
But I'm sure.
And as you heard there, last but not least, the man responsible for Lawn Boys Post and Sexy Biscuits, Mr. Dave Wade.
Hello.
Alrighty then, okay.
I almost missed the show, by the way, as I said in the pre-show. I almost missed the show. I was having a nap because I was up for 19 hours before this, and I thought I'll just have like a couple of 5 hours sleep. And then, as I said, I realized that turns out you have to turn your alarm on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you did that shit with your mind.
Oh, I did. I've had moments like that. To me, the worst is when you wake up like an hour before you're supposed to wake up, and you have to have that fight with yourself and be like, I could risk sleeping the extra hour, or I might as well just get up and get everything done.
No, risk.
Dude,
I always say,
did
live the dream. Live the dream. Risk sleeping that extra hour.
Oh, I did the same thing. I had like an interview, and an audition, and I had to be at someone's house basically, because for those who don't know, I write stuff and I direct stuff. So
You don't say.
I don't say. And I ended up there.
I thought you were a valet.
I did too. Ended up basically we're devising a new 15-minute short film that we're going to be putting through to Cannes called Glass Mirrors. If you go to my IMDb, you can check that out. Loads of self-promotion for myself today. And today, I had to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was literally.
I'm sorry. Just I'm just modifying your statement. Lots of self-promotion today.
Okay, every day. Fuck it. But anyway,
every fucking show you do.
That's one of the reasons why these guys like me. But it's
saying that Burhan only has a few items to promote is like saying Krypton might be kind of a bad show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst idea ever.
But yeah, I was in the same boat. Kept waking up every fucking hour, so I could cancel some appointments and dig in and do the screenplay thing, which is great. We sat down, we devised. I had a burger. I played with a puppy. Now the thing is, if you're ever in a bad mood, people, play with a Chihuahua puppy.
Is that a metaphor for something, by the way?
No, I literally check on my Facebook page, Dave. I've got pictures of this little puppy, and I've just been dawing all day. Brandon even said it's
Is that
why?
Now I understand why you sound like a thespian. I've just been adoring puppies all day.
I've been adoring puppies all day. Speaking of thespians,
Suit you, sir. Suit you, sir. Ooh.
suit you. Speaking of puppies, I think I wanted to just talk a little bit about this week's episode of Flash. For those who haven't seen it yet, spoilers! For those who have, we got a reveal of, well, and I say a faux review.
Oh, see, no, it is spoilers because, maybe I have been downloading it and compiling so I can watch it in a chunk. And people, downloading is bad, okay?
Okay.
But fuck it, do it.
R.I.P. Pirate Bay.
Yeah, I've said it before. It's okay to download it if A, they don't show it anymore on TV, or if it's discontinued in print, or B, in the case of video games, it's for a system that's just not being made anymore.
Can I add one more?
Yeah.
And this is genuinely why I download stuff. Although sorry Gotham, it ain't gonna happen to you, sugar tits. It's alright if you live in a backwater part of the world and you do rely on TV more so than you do on the internet because your internet's shit. So as long as you buy the show afterwards.
Yeah, support good shows. I mean, I love Constantine, and I watch it whenever I can. I haven't downloaded it yet, though. Usually, it's just me going over people's houses to watch it. So support shows like that. Because
here's how you do it correctly, right? You take it out of the case. You take the DVD correctly out of the case, and then you miss your DVD player when it comes out, and you drop it in the toilet. And you take a big fat piss on it. Sorry.
Oh, come on. This isn't Man of Steel we're talking about. Oh, second shot at DC. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help myself.
Or this isn't
Man of Steel
Krypton,
wasn't that
aka
bad.
Smallville's prequel, aka fucking DC
Yeah.
overshooting it. Kind of fucking
Look,
oh god. Go
Look,
on,
Brandon, if you like Man of Steel, that's fine. I will never beat up on somebody because they like something unless it's Adam Sandler, in which case, have at thee. But me and
Adam Sandler
Burhan,
beats himself up, but I'm sure.
Oh, we'll get to Adam Sandler, actually. He's going to be in our talk about the Sony hack. But like I said, if you like Man of Steel, fine. Me and Burhan, for our second episode, we did a whole 2-hour show on our problems with Man of Steel.
Dude,
I think I was there. I think I was there.
I think you
I like the oil rig bit. I found something I can like about
But
it.
I think I was the one defending it. Like I said, it was the best Dragon Ball Z movie I've ever seen in my life.
Fair enough. Then again, you might be able to say that about Sucker Punch, too.
No, I can't say anything good about Sucker Punch.
It was also
Okay, fair enough.
Come on, I think we should have a whip around the round table and everyone to come up with one thing they like about Man of Steel, and they're not allowed to pick the poster out. I would like to say I like the oil rig sequence.
I like the first 10 minutes on Krypton. Like I said, we mentioned.
Oh, and I like Kevin Costner's death because it's always good when Kevin Costner dies. Sorry.
No, when they Uncle Ben Pa Kent. Sorry, I can't defend that.
Yeah, no, same thing. Me and Miguel both looked at each other and just went, it was literally goes like they Uncle Ben Pa Kent. I was like, yeah, they're fucking Uncle Ben Pa Kent. What the fuck?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the actual sequence. I'm just talking about the fact that I always generally enjoy when Kevin Costner dies in the movie.
I
Let's be honest.
I can tolerate him when he's doing something about baseball because he seems to do
Since
that.
Dancing
Right.
with Wolves, let's be honest, his entire career has been him dying on screen. But a boom.
Build it. They will come. No, but the thing that bugs me.
That was a long setup for.
It was our first episode where we talked about Man of
Second,
Steel.
first.
Was it second? Yeah,
It was our second episode because the first episode was when we talked about the bombs of 2013.
That's that's extremely true. And if you want to check out my very first episode of Movie File, where I talk about the inconsistencies and the issues I had with Man of Steel, because I felt it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. There were just a lot of stuff that they kind of went overkill. Basically.
He went mental. At the end, he didn't give a fuck about anyone. He was throwing blokes through buildings and shit.
Best Dragon Ball Z movie ever.
Yeah, he wants to save a single family after he kills millions.
Exactly. That's right. I know it's not about that, and I talked about it before. I know you talked about it, but that's the one bit. Even though I kind of enjoyed that fight when he goes batshit crazy with his fucking laser beam eyes, laser beam mimes. That would be amazing. It was just like
Yes, that's the name of the episode. Laser Beam Mimes.
I agree. That needs to be the episode.
who are you trying to? I actually said out loud when I watched it, and I bought it from the bargain wall in Walmart. And I just remember watching that bit and just went, like almost tearing up. I'm just going, who are you trying to save right now?
I remember when I first saw the movie, there's this great moment, and this is one of the things I always laugh at right after Superman kills that big earthquake machine. There's
That's
this.
what the episode should be called.
Yeah, no. I'm sticking with laser beam mimes.
I think
when
big earthquake machine sounds pretty cool as well.
I like laser beam mimes. When Superman beats up the earthquake machine and comes back, he saves Lois Lane, and there's this big pullback shot of the skyline of Metropolis, and there's like explosions happening in the background. And in the theater, I just went really loud. Thank God the city is safe, Superman.
Yeah.
And the entire theater just broke out in laughter.
The thing is, though, if you watch it with I like to say, not such a cynical picture mind like us, but a normal mind, that's pretty much the same thing I thought, which is, all right, well, you just rescue your bird, but turn around. You felt like you were trying to reach into the 3D cinema and touch him on the shoulder. No, seriously, Superman, I think you're missing something right now. Turn around, behind you.
Well, Dave, what happened? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll just use my super cool minty breath from a distance. Too late, Superman.
Yes.
Too late.
So yeah, that's our thoughts on Man of Steel.
Yeah, if you want to see, the abridged version, go back to our second episode and we'll talk about it. It's got a cat meme's head on it, check out my movie file as well, because I need to plug my channel because people aren't viewing it at the moment, and loads of other stuff. So check it out. You can probably check out the complaints like Miles Long. How It Should Have Ended did a parody when Godzilla went back onto the fucking water and everyone was like, yay! And the Superman's like, hey!
That's a crossover right there.
Yeah.
Book that, DC. But enough about that. Let's go on to our first bit of news, which is trailers.
Yes.
Several trailers have come out since we did our last news episode, and I wanted to get Brandon's thoughts on this first trailer because you, me, and Dave already talked about it, but we didn't with Brandon. Star Wars Episode 7, Force Awakens. What did you think of it?
Force of Bacons?
No,
Force Awakens.
Oh.
Force of Kevin Bacon.
Sorry.
Stop trying to give us alternate titles for tonight's episode. We could be calling it AKA Laser Mimes, AKA Force of Bacon.
I like the Force of Kevin Bacon. That's
Yes.
that's pretty good.
All right, we'll consider it.
I heard you like that, but I hope you bought you dinner first.
We'll debate this. We'll debate this after the show, if anything. But
Yeah.
Brandon,
His foot
what was your
was
thoughts on
loose.
the episode 7? Brandon.
Yes.
Don't make me
Yeah.
laugh.
I was by the time the trailer came out, I was just so blind with anticipation. It could have just been Jar Jar Binks, and I would have been like, "Yay, Jar Jar's back!"
Just say,
Like-
people gonna watch?
Yeah, I became such a blind retard by this point when it comes to anything. Anytime anything new Star Wars comes out, the blinders go up, and I become a drooling fanboy. And this occasion was no different. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I want to know what's going to happen. That's all I want to know, because there's everything that I think could happen, and that is now completely bullshit. And I need to know, man. Why is there?
Question for you, Mr. Ligon, which
Yes, sir.
is what swung me around on this trailer. Not on this trailer, because this trailer blew my tiny little tits off. Clean off my chest. They're in space somewhere right now. Because I was being a cynic, but I was reading into the whole, fucking Disney, you wankers, taking this thing that, is our childhood. And I want to know what your actual thoughts the first time you saw it were. The bit when I saw the Millennium Falcon and those TIE fighters shoot by it.
Yep, that was it. I was sold. Well, I couldn't
again.
process anything I was really seeing, because it was really just basically little flashes of things, a little soccer ball droid thing. I was like, okay, that's very JJ, reinventing how droids look, reinventing the way machine crafts look, because, that giant fucking bike that Daisy Ridley was on.
It was a bike. I liked it.
I don't know what that thing was. That was looking like a giant tank almost, compared to the Star Wars universe.
So
but,
you were like the rest of us then. The minute you saw the Millennium Falcon and the TIE
I was just like, yep, sign me up. I gotta wait another year, a whole year for this now to come out. That's basically what I was. That's what I was going. I was like, I need more information.
Yeah, the thing is, they were
I
very,
want more.
very unclear as to what was going on.
There was nothing. There was no dialogue. There was no nothing. There was just that shot of the Millennium. The only sound was the Millennium Falcon's engines and the TIE Fighter. There was literally that droid kind of made a little sound, and then that was
that droid was awesome.
John Boyega panting, and then that little voiceover, which I want to hope that was Benedict Cumberbatch, like my.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Please, if you don't even know, man.
We'll be talking about him more and more because he's been popping up in the news as of late too. But I do want to ask 2 questions. Number one, your thoughts on that hilted lightsaber.
I want to know who is wielding that lightsaber. That's what I want to know. I mean, I've heard. Like,
Thank you, by the way, for not being everyone, which I've done to some degree, which is everyone going like, "Oh, he cut his hands off and stuff," and you know.
Like automatically assuming that it's going to be Luke Skywalker. I've heard that rumor been persistent. Luke Skywalker is going to fall to the dark side or something like that. Which
I've heard that rumor, and if it's true, I'm quite excited because it means they're going the dark force. Not dark.
No,
dark force.
They're not gonna do anything expanded universe. I mean, you might see loose interpretations of it, but it won't be, as outright.
You know what? I would love to see Luke turn the dark side because that would make a lot more sense. Because apparently,
I could see how they could explain it.
Stop being such a whiny little prick. But,
yeah, and you know what I'm saying? I can see how they can explain it. Like, that's how they explain the 30-year gap in history. Like, he just literally takes off. Like, this, in my head, how the movie, if like all the rumors and all that stuff is correct, how I'm picturing the movie is the probably first opening shot of the movie will be some fancy CGI stuff where they'll make Mark Hamill look like 30 years younger, and it will literally be right after. It'll be literally right. It's literally gonna be right after the Darth Vader funeral, like morning after, or immediately as soon as the camera cuts to the credits at Return of the Jedi. That's where this movie is gonna pick right up, and then you'll get like a 20 to 30 year jump and stuff like that, and then they'll kind of explain it. I don't know, man. Well, there's like I could see J.J. Abrams doing something completely different, like how normally all the Star Wars movies start with the crawl and all this stuff. I could see J.J. Abrams doing a cold opening to Star Wars.
I can.
Just totally blowing people's minds and just fucking how we feel, because Star Wars fans are accustomed to viewing the movies in a certain way. The titles hit, Lucasfilm Limited, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, bang, and then we're off to the races. Yeah, exactly.
I think you should just go Star Wars.
Cold opening. I think imagine if he does... Yeah.
No crawl, bitches.
No crawl? Oh, man. That's going to fuck with a lot of people's minds.
Nah, I think we're going to get the crawl. I could see him doing maybe a hot open where it starts off with action and then goes right into the crawl from there.
Basically,
kind of
like
to throw people off.
It wasn't The Empire Strikes Back, was it? Was it The Return of the Jedi? No, it was The Empire Strikes Back. When they did the kind of the hot opening, they had the action sequence go on before they basically went into kind of what the story was about.
Well, it had that. Empire always started out with the droids landing on Hoth and stuff like that. So that was kind of like the expose.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see like a Bond setup where you can have the crew and everything like that, right? But you should do kind of like the little mini sequence before the titles roll, if that makes sense.
Nah, I mean,
There's so many different ways. I guarantee you, Abrams is going to take some liberties with the conventions that fans have, but I think he's going to show a lot of.
There's going to be flashbacks. There's never been outright flashbacks in Star Wars movies, so there's going to be a flashback in this.
Yeah, they should go fucking Rambo 4 and shit.
But apparently, Hamill's role is kind of reduced, isn't it? Because they haven't given him.
Yeah, he asked for it to be reduced though.
Yeah. But he hasn't been given. I think that was a mistake on their part. I think they should.
I don't.
I think they're downplaying it. I really think they're. Unless that's going to be just some hidden subtext for the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, you're seeing something, and you're like a mystery character, and you're not quite sure who it is, and then all of a sudden that person shows up, and then it's Luke Skywalker. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. It could be Tri-Saber, as it's been dubbed now on the internet. I'm calling it the Claymore Saber because that's what it kind of looks like.
That's why it's called the Claymore.
Yeah, it looks like it's giant. It's a broadsword kind of thing.
I'm
gonna have massive consistency with it, by the way, that all the fans have pointed out, and I hate believing in fan speak, but they're kind of right, which is those little mini blades are there to protect his hand. Then just slice really close to the saber because they're actually coming out of little arms as opposed to the hilt. so they're ineffectual. Oh my
very,
god, I've
very
turned into a
close.
fanboy.
It just seems like something that it looks great in design, but aesthetically, you're gonna lose a hand.
Exactly. But you know what? The thing is, we all right. We drilled our pants over the Phantom Menace trailer where we saw Darth Maul.
As soon as everybody saw double-bladed lightsaber, my 14-year-old dick got hard.
Yeah, you were a man at that point.
Both
Yeah,
know,
I was.
like, whatever the practicalities of it are, that whenever, well, hopefully he's not just a bloke who turns up in one scene and then fucking Luke comes along or something, just goes, "Oh, you're a bitch," and chops his head off. Although that would be awesome. We both know whatever they do with that lightsaber, it's gonna, on screen at least, it's gonna defy the laws of physics and gravity because he's a fucking Sith, my favorite kind of Jedi, and it's gonna look fucking amazing. So all the little people in the forums going, "Yeah, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work, I'm gonna cut his head off," which I was one technically. We both know that it's gonna look fucking the dog's bollocks on the screen.
Yeah.
And then we're all going to buy one at Christmas.
Aesthetically, I think it's going to look great. And this is the thing as well. This is going to be a kind of an anomaly of sense because no one's getting back-end deals from this. Now, for those who don't know, the original actors, the original
Well,
cast,
except for Disney.
Except for Disney. No, but I mean the actors, the original cast for the old Lucasfilms actually got back-end deals. So Harrison Ford negotiated himself like something like a 0.25% of whatever the film grossed from the first movie. Same with Hamill. Carrie Fisher doesn't discuss what she got.
She's still upset she had to take the press though.
No, apparently some of her issues were the fact that she didn't. She apparently pays George Lucas for her own likeness, but this is the first time that either of these three haven't negotiated back-end deals this time. They're just going to get paid outright for this, for whatever roles they have. Harrison Ford apparently, before he was injured, they actually talked about the fact that he was going to continue in the trilogy, in the new trilogy of movies.
See, I heard opposite. I heard Harrison Ford wanted to just do the one, get everybody's, that one moment he'll play Han Solo again and then die.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
I've been saying it before. I would not be shocked if Luke dies. I really do, and the reason I say that is because I've got a feeling that Mark Hamill has for years been trying to maybe distance himself from the Star Wars franchise.
You don't think Harrison Ford has? I mean, he used to outwardly say anytime on an interview to say, "Yeah, I did that movie."
Yeah,
I will say this: if they do that, there's going to be tons of fans who are going to fucking lynch J.J. Abrams.
You know what? I think it's time. I mean, it's like when Mark Hamill walked away from doing the Joker. It's like after a while, you just kind of gotta walk away.
It's the swan song.
Yeah, but
and if there was
he didn't envision. I think even if they didn't kill the character off in the Arkham game, sorry, spoilers. If you haven't played them by now, fucking hell, you've been under.
Every time you say
that, come on, man! I was actually just thinking about buying Arkham City recently. It just dropped down to like $6 at GameStop. I was just about to spend some cash and get it.
You can get the complete edition for like $6. Seriously, just get the complete edition. You can get it from freaking anywhere for $6. Go to Amazon.
Oh, okay, it's online then.
Well, you could do what I do, which because no one else I know owns a Wii U apart from Mike. You could buy it from cash converters for $10.
Yeah, the
but
Wii U
totally
version.
Worth it.
The Wii U version's got Armored Edition on there, so you can basically play that.
Yeah.
Which has everything, including the DLC.
Plus, it does have an amazing detective mode where you have to investigate stuff by moving, and you look like a twat when you play it, moving the Wii U pad around the room, but in the screen. You see Batman move it, but you're actually looking at the screen to see what shit goes on. That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool, but yeah, go back. What were you saying before about Mark Hamill Joker?
But it wasn't his idea to kind of kill the character off. That was Rocksteady's. But again, it was one of those things where it's only in that universe of games. Do you know what I mean? The Joker's still alive and well. The Joker's still a character. It's still prevalent in terms of the way this character's been portrayed. He's iconic in a sense. But in terms of Hamill's Joker, he's always going to be remembered for the Batman series, and he kind of lied a little bit because it wasn't his last time playing Joker. Do you kiddies want to know what his last one that he did Joker for?
Killing Joke. Oh, he'll do it for Killing Joke though.
He probably will. Yeah, he did say he would do that. Actually, his last time he played the Joker was DC Universe Online.
Wait a minute. They're adapting Killing Joke?
He said, Mark Hamill has said publicly that if they were to adapt Killing Joke into an animated feature, he would like to be the one to play the Joker.
That might be the first R-rated DC animated movie ever. There's no way.
They better make it fucking 18, because if they make that like a fucking PG-13, then they can't do the source material justice.
Yeah, I mean,
Naked Barbara Gordon, obviously.
Yeah, I would love to see them do that and use the artwork they did, the art style they did for that Suicide Squad animated movie. I really like that. It's the first time. Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen them use that type of like sharp anime style, and I really dug it. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Yeah,
Segue, perhaps.
By the way, I would like to just basically catch up with what Patty's saying here. She, for a Superman comment, she says, "Superman, what? This is why we can't have nice things, and get your super broom and start cleaning shit up." She also said, "If it is Luke, the fact that he's handling that sword regardless is meh, because he lost his hand anyway, so it probably keeps losing a hand. If he keeps using that sword, so he's probably got like 2 robotic arms."
Oh, but again, he lost his hand because his arm was defenseless, and the cut came from the bottom up.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be coming from the top down.
Well, Family Guy, if it is Luke, he can wield that claymore all day long, because technically he's got a good hand, guy.
Yeah, and she's basically saying it's all a conspiracy, kill J.J. Abrams. But I'd like to point out what Johnny Millennium said, which was J.J. Abrams will be known as Jar Jar Abrams if he doesn't, pull this off.
Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he can't go back to the Star Trek franchise anymore because he's pretty much separated himself from that.
They would take him back in a heartbeat.
Well, he's producing. He's still staying on as producer for that, isn't he?
That's just what I was going to say.
It's still his production company making the movie.
Yeah, Bad Robot.
He's not helming him.
That means it's going to be bad, though, because he's turned into Tim Burton on Batman 3, hasn't he? No?
Well,
whoa. We'll do a Batman episode somewhere down the line, but
second.
I don't
blame
blame
JJ. If you're looking for a director, I'm kind of like, I'm not going to brag, but I'm like the 45,000 person view.
God, just put yourself over some more, Burhan. Why don't you? Jeez.
I would like to say we can all have our director question to JJ. JJ, can you please, just because of all the buzz, this sounds really stupid, but it's true, of all the buzz in this country right now about the Star Wars trailer, a lot of very angry English people right now are, if one more person says it's a fucking soccer droid, I'm going to slot them. It's a football droid. Right.
It's a soccer droid.
Seriously. It's a football droid, shut up.
They probably have a whole different version of that sport as a different type.
I like to think when they release the figure, because there will be a figure, I like to think when they release the figure in the UK, there's a limited edition box art that's actually called Football Droid.
Oh yeah, no, I want Football Droid. Believe me. Send me if that is true, send me Football Droid. I do not want Soccer Droid. I want Football Droid.
All I'm saying is droid's dangling his balls.
When that droid wakes up one day, he just looks at himself and is absolutely disgusted and just goes, "What the fuck am I?"
No, we're tangents, guys. Let's move on to the next trailer we have to talk about, which is.
Does that make Eric Cantona his god? His death god?
Jurassic World. The new Jurassic Park 4 trailer titled Jurassic World. Didn't really say much in it. It was basically just a series of clips set to that. I'm getting sick and tired of trailers doing that, where it's just the lone piano
music.
Note. Yeah, it's the lone piano note set to clips of the movie. I mean, I thought it was cool that it segued into that theme, but that's something that a lot of trailers are doing that I'm really getting annoyed about. It's just the bing.
Thank you, M. Night Shyamalan.
Bing. I would actually say more Inception, that weird Inception-y kind of thing. Where
I think M. Night Shyamalan did that way back, even in, I think that was the Sixth Sense trailer had a just single piano note.
Yeah, everybody's doing that, and it's starting to irritate me. But for this trailer, I mean,
I was really excited for this trailer. Not as much as Star Wars, but I was really excited.
I think people hold the series too high nowadays. I mean, look, Jurassic Park is one of those few movies that still holds up even today. I can watch that movie now and still be thoroughly entertained. And I even defend,
absolutely.
I even defend 2. I don't hate.
I love 2. I love 2 because I'm a Goldblum nerd. So that movie was all Goldblum.
Exactly why I love 2.
And his famous line of, "That is one big pile of shit."
Well, that was. But I even like 3 because at that
That's for a
point,
PG-13. That bit when the T-Rex bites the bloke in half, or the two T-Rexes tug the bloke in half, it's actually really quite dark.
there's no blood in it, so I think they kind of get away with it. It's kind of like X-Men. If you don't have any blood, you can get away with
Yeah,
dismemberment.
but you see him get dismembered on screen.
Yeah. Well, that was also the 90s. You can get away with more, but yeah, I even defend 3 because I realized at that point, like, all right, you're a B movie franchise now. At least it's entertaining. Like I
really liked 3.
Yeah, 3 is entertaining, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this one, because the whole thing is, well, they genetically created the perfect dinosaur, and it's gotten loose, and it's attacking, and only Chris Pratt can save it. Star-Lord.
Yeah,
I
but
really
why
hope.
don't-
I really hope.
are they
I really
gonna
hope Chris Pratt is the son of Muldoon.
Yeah,
Sam
are
Neill's
they
son?
bringing any of the original
No.
cast back in this? Are they just gonna? Is it just a whole new cast?
I think it's in the future. So they might be dead.
I don't think it's too far.
I did hear that there might be, whether it's actually them doing reprising scenes or something. That there are going to be, but don't quote me on this. It's just on the forums on that they're going to be like flashbacks or memory modes to other members.
Yeah, callbacks. Like they'll be. You obviously saw that they're at that big plane where they hit out from the T-Rex, where the Dilophosaurus, or whatever the fucking ones with the thing is on their head when they were running with the horde. No, when they were running with the herd with the T-Rex. I forget what the fuck they're called.
Oh, the one with the pompadour. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the Pompadour one. There you go.
Elvis, basically, as it was named in the second one.
It's a
There you go.
dinosaur. Look, a dinosaur. Holy shit! What the fuck?
I will say this though. It's unfortunate we just recently lost David Attenborough, and he can't come back to play the old man. Like he really.
Well,
maybe he filmed something for it.
Once I basically developed my formula to raise the dead. Oh, I've said too much.
Yeah, if you do, well, first of all, bring Abra back, but I got a list of other people we need to bring back.
Okay. Do you think I'll unintentionally start the zombie apocalypse?
Well, I don't care because I've always been, wanting to practice because I got a plan for the zombie apocalypse.
Listen. Just bring back the good ones. Like,
And I'm hardcore because we don't own guns in England.
yeah, bring back all the good actors. Bring back all the good musicians. Just do that. Don't bring any. We don't need cast members of Jersey Shore being reanimated from the dead.
Bring back Elvis, but bring back young Elvis and tell him when you bring him back immediately, stay away from Colonel Parker. Oh, and fast food will kill you. And Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee.
Don't put anything in custard.
Yeah. And by the way, you shouldn't deep fat fry stuff in butter. It's bad for you.
all right,
It's so
gentlemen.
much better.
We'll start with you, Burhan. What did you think of the trailer overall?
It looks good. Aesthetically, it looks very pleasing. In terms of the Jurassic franchise, it looks too clean to be a Jurassic Park movie. Does that make sense?
I disagree. I mean, to me, Jurassic Park really when the first one came out, it really did bring a level of cleanness to big budget movies that you didn't see back then. I mean, you look at something from the 80s and compare it to after Jurassic Park. I mean, it really brought a cleanness to the 90s blockbuster that you just didn't see before that. So I think it's part and parcel.
I agree with Miguel, which is even if you just watch the trailer, that it was head and shoulders above everything else back in the day, and it still is now. But the cleanness you're talking about, there's one scene that always I get from the trailer that reminds me of that. It's just a bit when you see the Diplodocuses when eating from the tops of the trees.
Yeah.
Camera pulls out backwards, and that's such a nice shot. And that's just sharp. And all right, it's not really showing its age because it's still amazing, but that's just. It's in broad, do you know what I mean? Like special effect. It's in broad daylight, people, and you're seeing it in its entirety. Yeah,
it doesn't have that 80s fuzz that you got from movies back in the day. I don't know if they upgraded. I don't know if Spielberg had some new set of film cameras that he was just testing out. But
the Blu-ray version is absolutely amazing, by the way.
I really do got to add it to my collection eventually. But yeah,
it just seems to me like it. I feel that they kind of rounded things off with the last Jurassic Park movie. I don't think Jurassic World is going to do anything for me, but I will see it because Chris Pratt's in it, because I think his star power is amazing at the moment.
I hear that you like a good Pratt.
Yes.
All right, that was actually really funny. I like that one.
Would you say that he's a Star Lord?
Yes, I
By
would
Guardians
say.
of the Galaxy. Now
I would say he's a Star Lord. And by the way, for those who don't know, check out on YouTube. There's like some deleted scenes from Guardians of the Galaxy, including a dance off, which cracked me up to no end.
I saw that. Yeah,
I'm going to be getting the Blu-ray soon. I have yet to add a Marvel movie to my Blu-ray collection. I'm going to be adding that one.
Lee Pace, when he starts doing the dance, Lee Pace goes, "What are you doing?"
Distracting you, and it's working. That's like, the only fear. That's the.
That was like the most serious line in the movie. What are you doing?
I will say this, and this is something I hope doesn't come back to bite Chris Pratt in the butt. I don't think we're gonna get that type of charming Chris Pratt in this movie. I think he's gonna play it straight, and I wonder if that's
gonna rough ready him on the floor off the moment, because that's what happens when big fucking dinosaurs chase you.
Yeah, and I wonder if people are going to respond to that well. If I wonder if they're gonna come in expecting Star-Lord and be disappointed, and I really hope that doesn't happen.
Repeat after me, son of Muldoon. Muldoon was the guy from the first one with the clever girl.
Oh, that guy! I was wondering. I'm like, was that Sam Neill's character? I don't remember.
That was Muldoon.
Oh, if he plays that guy, I'm set.
Son of Muldoon.
That would be awesome.
I have to point out a really big fucking annoyance. See, we don't own guns in England. What are guns, by the way? Apparently, you Americans have them.
They're these big, menacing, black-looking things that make loud noises when you pull a trigger.
Well, when I saw Jurassic Park in the cinema, I do remember in that sequence where he's got the big fat fucking aliens fucking shotgun, and he fires it and he completely. I'm sorry, you could totally take a raptor's head off with a fucking shotgun. And some bloke shouted out in the cinema, who must have been a gun fucking nuts, when they look at the window with the tiny little bullet holes in, and I shit you not, some bloke shouted out in the cinema, "Hang on a minute, it's a fucking shotgun, not a pea shooter. What the fuck is wrong with those little holes?" And everyone looked and just went, "You fucking redneck cunt." But yeah, and I watch it now and I can't get that fucking voice out of my head, and yeah, part of me just wants to go, "Yes, you were right, but shut up."
Son of Muldoon.
All right, Dave.
That could be a good title.
Clever girl. They better work in the line. Clever girls.
I would not be shocked if they did. Overall, what was your thoughts on the trailer, Dave?
I really liked it. All right, it's a teaser trailer. It's not. I think it knew it. It's not going to compete with Star Wars. I didn't know it was going to come out at the same time, or they knew that it was going to come out at the same time. But I really liked it, and I'm not.
I thought it came out before. I thought it came out like the day before or something.
Yeah, but you forget I'm in England. I'm running this. Me on this podcast is actually 18 months behind the rest of you.
Yeah, he's already getting Star Wars Episode 7 in theaters at this point.
Hey, turns out that they're going to make the first one. Anyone here? But I liked it, and the bit that really did kind of send shivers down my spine, because the first movie, as you said, Miguel, has really held its age well, was the bit when they pan up and they got the even bigger gates. Those gates, they're like tiny gates, but now we got Jurassic World gates, and they're massive gates. I'm not gonna lie, when they panned up and they showed them, my brain just went, "Yep,
that's the money shot." Yeah.
Yep, I'm on board.
I was absolutely in love with the trailer until they actually started explaining more about the plot.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I was going to say that.
Well, you know what? Like I said, I don't think at this point you're not going to get a movie that has the majesty of Spielberg unless Spielberg actually makes it. So I'm okay.
Why did they make a giant mutant dinosaur?
Science.
Why? Yeah, because science.
Yeah. Because science
and reasons.
If my brain overrides, if my logic, stupid dickhead part of my brain that overrides my childhood brain kicks in, there would be me in a room with all the blokes cloning this dinosaur, somewhere safe where people clearly aren't trapped on the island, just going, "Fucking told you, didn't I? I mean, did we not learn anything from the previous failed attempts at this?" But no,
not
you
one.
went, "I can do it."
Not 2 failed attempts, but 3 failed attempts.
But no, you went, "I know where we were going wrong. We didn't make the dinosaurs bigger and stronger. That's where we were going wrong."
It brings you back to the old Dr. Ian Malcolm principle. You figured out how, but you haven't figured out Why?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite monologues of his, where he talks about how they've discovered this great technology and they wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
Yeah,
I
he
think
stood on
they
the back.
should end it like-
He stood on the backs of giants.
I think they should end it like Return of the Living Dead, though, right? They realized
That
they
trailer.
can't
You know
beat
what that trailer
dinosaurs.
needed? That trailer
It needed
more
someone
Goldblum.
dropping a nuclear weapon out the top of a plane, realizing that they can't fix this problem, and the person who's riding the nuke all the way down to the island is fucking Jeff Goldblum. Brilliant.
That would be a surprise cameo. But yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised though if it has. Well, no, because they're going to set it up as a franchise. I mean, I really enjoyed the trailer. You know, not much. What they did give away from the story, I was like, meh. But then This sounds terrible because I did like the other 3 movies, and the first 2 at least had good stories. Which was, I'm probably gonna go and watch it for the dinosaurs because we haven't had dinosaurs in cinema for so long.
Yeah,
And I don't mean
gonna go see
Godzilla
it.
because Godzilla's not a dinosaur.
No, Godzilla is
Godzilla
basically the
is a
thing that the
dinosaur.
American government decided to fire at and, dump a nuclear fucking bomb on because reasons.
Yet he came back and saved us. What a nice man.
And do it in
Because
front of
science.
school children.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Pay attention,
no,
kids. This is culture.
Yeah.
okay,
I know
Right.
I'm gonna see this movie because I'm an absolute Jurassic Park nerd, and
I just want to see dinosaurs.
I know this movie's gonna be gimmicky as hell, and I know
I hope it does, though. Obviously, they didn't give much away from the trailer, but there were kind of nods to replicating similar scenes from the original movie, like the running with flocks and stuff. But I just hope they do, if they're going to do this, that there are nods. I'm not a die-hard Canon fan in that sense, but I do hope there are nods that link it, not just they talk about it for 5 seconds at the start of the movie and just go, well, we know where they went wrong, and now we're going to clone super fucking dinosaurs. I hope it's... Yeah, I just hope there are, like I said, which I heard, but again, it's forums, that there are flashbacks and stuff in kind of... Even just like Jeff Goldblum, in the helicopter explaining chaos theory and stuff like that, when the epiphany happens in Pratt. I'm never going to call him by his first name, I just like saying the word Pratt. When Pratt realizes how he must beat the dinosaurs or the folly of the way, is he has a flashback sequence to a scene he could not possibly know about, and Jeff Goldblum is in that fucking helicopter just explaining chaos theory.
I don't think they'll have direct flashbacks, but there'll be lots of callbacks to that, and I'm afraid they might get too heavy-handed.
And I hope Jeff Goldblum shows up at the end like Star Wars in spiritual astral form.
I hope he saves the day, and he's like, I fucking told you. Get away from the dinosaurs.
I hacked a fucking spaceship with an apple.
we're not gonna. I didn't want to talk too much about it because I don't want it to take enough time. But yeah, they're
Jeff Goldblum is like this anti-dinosaur crusader.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Clone
get it.
them, they will come, but only if you super clone them.
Because you got to figure this is like a big nature park, so you got to figure out how SeaWorld has all its protesters. So wouldn't there be like anti-dinosaur protesters? So wouldn't it be great if Goldblum was the leader of the anti-dinosaur
1, 2,
protesters?
3, 4. We don't want dinosaurs anymore.
Just
7,
leave
8.
them alone. Let them
We're stinking
exist there.
All right, boys. So you're excited. So Brandon, you're excited about the trailer then?
I'm excited but apprehensive.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to our next trailer, which is Terminator Genesis. Which
there you are.
Easy.
Just for me, Bern, just say it. I've been expecting you.
I've been expecting you.
I'll say this: there was a lot of big explodey stuff happening, and there were so many callbacks to the series that there's that primitive part of me that was kind of smiling, but I have no idea what this story's about. I can't make heads or tails of it. I don't know if it's a reboot.
It's a
reboot crossover.
You have to get into the laws of time travel now. See, Terminator's one of those perfect franchises where it actually deals with things in real science, like can we travel forward in time? What does happen? So now we're like getting into people have gone back in time so many different times. It's set up multiple different timeline branches, and they're all like colliding at once. I think you've seen that.
Yes.
There's
That's what I took from it. Yeah.
There's young Arnold Schwarzenegger T100 or whatever T800 protecting Emilia Clarke in 1980.
Yeah, before Kyle Reese is supposed to actually
Before Kyle Reese comes back, it's like, what the... Yeah, so this is like you need a time travel flowchart to understand.
Yeah,
And this movie should come with a fucking
with like a pamphlet to understand the rules of time
Terminator
travel.
Genesis for dummies.
I wouldn't be
Like,
shocked.
wait.
I wouldn't be shocked if they have like a comic book deal that kind of sums all that stuff up.
What was the South Park episode with the people from the future coming back in time for jobs and stuff like that?
Yeah, they do.
So this files Terminator laws where you could go back in time. Yeah,
this is what
I
don't get. I was discussing this with Bill Arzenberg, aka Alpha Omega Sin. He got a bit pissed at me because I said this is just a rehash of the first movie.
Because you were plugging yourself.
No,
Sorry.
it's because I said it was a rehash of the first movie. And he went, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, it basically starts off as the first movie would probably start off, but it segues into a different direction. So they're just kind of rebooting it." And he kind of got annoyed with me about that. But in the same vein, though, if you look at it, it's kind of like Carl Reese goes back and he's waiting to get some of that sweet poo-tang. Turns out, though, she's not 18, she's 15 in this for some reason.
That's sweet mother of dragons, Fanny.
Yes. So he can, so he could procreate and give birth to it, the son of the coalition. And then she's like, "No, it's fine. I know what the fuck's going on. Come with me if you want to live." And he's like, "What? Well, we're not going to have sex yet."
Like that
and
bit.
then this big Arnie cockblock comes in with a fucking gun and like shoots himself in the fucking face, which looks really freaky. I think I think he probably gives himself a little bit of anal afterwards. I've got a feeling. Arnie inserts. You dig that?
You're going really to the.
You're really going there
to the dark place.
Yeah, I was going to go a little bit dark. I was going to be like, this is going to
black.
be. Yeah, I was going to say something like this is the story of the worst set of blue balls for Kyle Reese. Like he's just going to be going there through the entire movie. Like, so this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, he's like, so
all
I'm
right.
not gonna have sex with you. What the hell's going on here? And Arnie's like, "Don't worry, I've got it covered." And he's like, "No, man, seriously, can you just fuck off for a second? I just want to go and put my dick in her and create the fucking."
Yeah, 5 minutes. Listen, that's all I need. It's for the future, man. I'm doing this for the future.
I like to think the fact is he just when this, based on the trailer, this whole kind of fucked up parallel combining timeline things happened, that the first thing he said was, "Thank you, son. Seriously. I mean, is that any way to treat your father? You sent me back, and look, now I have to spend fucking 2.5 hours of action fest not getting any."
Do you think do you think he just like stands there and he's getting ready to like put his arm over her and then he puts his head through the door going, "What are you doing?" It's like, fuck's sake, man, come on.
Yeah.
I am the ultimate cock blocker.
I will say that this: the geek in me kind of digs seeing young Arnie and old Arnie
That was
fight.
amazing. The young Arnie bit, though, I know it was pure CG. When Arnie goes, "I've been expecting you." I'm not gonna lie, that was the bit of the trailer where my brain just went, "Holy shit!" I didn't make any sense. This trailer needs to come with a manual, like Brendan said, but that bit.
Are they using like the T-1000 as the villain now? Is Robert Patrick?
Yes.
Gonna be,
No, it's
like,
not
in
Robert Patrick.
liquid
It's
form?
Robert Patwick, because this one.
No.
This one is
No. Yeah, they've got an Asian actor playing the
The only bit
T-1000.
I thought was weird, which makes sense of the well, it's not weird, but makes sense of the fact that cause and effect is you can only time travel so much before you basically create a paradox where everything combines. Which is what I took from this, was the bit before, sorry people, spoilers, hey, it's a trailer, I don't have to say that. Hey, by the way, Mike, every time you say spoilers in my voice, you owe me 5p.
Spoilers.
Thank you. Keep going, you make me rich one day eventually. When Arnie jumps through the rope blades of the helicopter at the end, but I'm like, are you grey? Are you like grey old Arnie?
Yeah, that's one thing.
He's
bringing it.
Yeah, I didn't get the fact that old Arnie killed new Arnie, killed younger Arnie. I was just like, really? Would he kill himself?
Yeah, plus he had the gun. Did you notice that he had the gun from Terminator 2 to take out himself? Sorry, from Terminator 1. But you're like, well, you're a fucking Terminator, so I'm pretty sure you know that you ain't taking yourself out with a shotgun, mate.
It makes
Like
sense
I
to
said,
me.
I was gonna say, like I said, I do respect the fact that Arnold is really bringing his A game. Like, I didn't get the feeling in this trailer that he was just phoning it in. It's not a Bruce Willis situation
Oh yeah,
where,
and he looks good in it. Though.
yeah, he really got back into shape. Like I said, it's not a Bruce Willis situation like we
How
talked
old is
about
he
with
now?
Die Hard. It's, he really wants this to be a good movie, and I very much respect that from Arnold. The
with
fact that he's still got that
everything
fire.
else that he's done is kind of gone down the shit way, and I have to admit he's not that bad. I think Dwayne Johnson sucks ass more than he does, and I love Arnie. I watched Sabotage. The Last Stand was kind of but Sabotage.
I liked it.
Sabotage was brilliant. I thought Sabotage was brilliant.
Sabotage
I
was,
like-
was
Right.
amazing.
I haven't seen Sabotage, but I really liked The Last Stand. It's like, it was a B movie, but it worked. Like, it had enough in it to where it worked for me. I've heard good things about Sabotage, though. I gotta watch that eventually.
By the way, Patty says, I'm maintaining that it can't be worse than Jurassic Park 3. I'm frequently wrong, but dinosaurs are always fun. Ditto for Two Love. I avoid trailers. I want the whole experience to come organically without giving myself a chance to develop expectations. That's what she said. Someone should cut together every Goldblum monologue from every movie and make that a movie. Challenge accepted, Patty. I find it very enjoyable.
It's probably out there. Look on YouTube. It's probably out there.
And just before they deliver that
are
together
very funny.
monologue, you should feature Jeff.
Are they really? Did somebody really like my impressions?
Yes.
That makes me smile.
And I'm saying, Patty, no love for Arnie, Patty. No love for Arnie.
No, my Arnold is better than yours anyway.
No, it doesn't.
I think your Arnold is way over the top. I think my Arnold is just measured enough.
Folks,
think-
if you're out there listening, put it in the YouTube chat. Who had the better Arnold impression?
Yeah, we should have
Brandon
Arnold
or
off.
Burhan?
We
I think we should get Harry Atkinson.
Yours is good, but yours is overselling it a little.
Yeah, we can't have an Arnold off unless we have Harry Ack. So
yeah,
you can
that's
have
true. We would have an
three-way,
Arnold
sorry.
three-way. It'll be like an Arnold gangbang. Like 3 Arnolds, 1 cup.
What if you could pick a time zone?
Who are you?
Dave, what did you think about the Terminator Genesis trailer? Real quick.
First of all, as a child in me, because that's what it did to me, was first of all, I was just blown away by the fact, like, thank you for bringing back the lasers and the dystopian dark future, as opposed to that fucking shit military future we had in Salvation. That sold me. And then the bit where they kind of replicate the scene where Carl Reese goes back, and then it turns out that you realise that something's wrong, which I think they delivered in the trailer, even though it got really convoluted and fucked up. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. But, the fact that he's trying to find his fucking clothes in the mall and shit. And then when Sarah Connor comes in and it's just like, come with me, soldier, and shit. And then you're like, holy shit, there's a T-1000 in here. And my brain just went, I've got no fucking clue what's going on right now, but I'm running with it. And, yeah, I really enjoyed it. But, I can't take too much from it in the sense that, like Brandon said, it needed to come with a fucking manual. By the way, if you want to understand 37 seconds in, flip to page 47.
I remember Miguel.
It was,
Miguel sent me a picture of Austin Powers cross-eyed. That's literally what it did to him.
I did also bring up something really funny when it dawned on me that with all the time travel we were talking about, it dawned on me that Matt Smith is playing a character, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't a reboot, it's a crossover. That's why the timeline is so messed up. It's all wibbly wobbly.
Still wibbly wobbly timey lines.
All right, Brandon, what'd you think of the Terminator Genesis trailer?
Again, I think once you get beyond the convoluted timeline restriction or timeline laws and
We've
all
already
that stuff.
established this, Brandon. It's timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly lines.
Yeah, once you get beyond that, I think this is going to be a good popcorn movie. I believe once you get over CGI, young Arnold, and all that other stuff.
Which was the one thing I have to say quickly, because I didn't say it in that bit when you asked me, Miguel, which was the one thing I took from this trailer where my brain just went, whoa, was when you saw young Arnie and new old Arnie just go, I've been expecting you. And my brain just went, I think I've just broken my brain. That's the most awesome thing I've ever seen.
I don't understand who the fuck... Did they decide to put him back in time to Jesus or something and he aged?
I think it's going to go with, this is just my interpretation, I think it's going to go like that Tom Cruise movie, based on the fact that you see older Arnie, even though he's a Terminator. So how the fuck would he age and get grey hair? I don't know. I think it's about he can just constantly keep coming back, if that makes sense, because they fucked up timelines so much. This is just me, you know. So sorry, people. No spoilers. Interpretations. But I think it's just they fucked up the timeline so much, and they all meet at a crucible point, and that he can basically do Tom Cruise, and just constantly die, go back, die, go back, die, go back, die, go back. If that makes sense.
Repeat, die, go back, repeat.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a good movie. I think Emilia Clarke is going to be really her first, attempt at a starring role in a big budget summer movie. It will make or break her film career, whether or not she's just going to be Daenerys Targaryen, Mother of Dragons, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea,
it's also
Breaker of Chains.
It's also going to see if it will make or break Arnie's career, because this is... I
think Arnie's career is going to be fine. Arnie's career is someone's always going to pay him to star in a movie.
Yeah, I think this is his last chance.
You have a star. You have maybe not a star, but a feature actress on a major television series breaking out into a feature film for the first time. I know she's been in other stuff like as bit parts or lead actresses. She was in a Jude Law film that was very good by the name of I can't remember the name of the movie. It came out this year. I think this is going to be a big test for her, whether or not she could stand her own and carry a big budget film like this, or she'll just be forever known as Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones.
Fucked up in the latest Terminator movie.
So yeah, I guess that's Terminator Genesis. And we got one last trailer we talk about before we get into one of our two main events, and that is the trailer that just dropped actually today, which was the trailer for San Andreas, the new disaster film starring The Rock. And having just seen it 30 minutes before the show started, I was unimpressed. It, to me...
I'm gonna go mute for a second because I've not seen this, so I'm gonna watch it.
You'll be the last one we throw it to then. To me, this felt like a Roland Emmerich film taking itself way too seriously. Like, you know what it reminded me of? Do you guys remember that movie Volcano that came out in the late '90s with Tommy Lee Jones? That it was a disaster movie that took itself way too seriously. And I kind of get this vibe from there. I know it's going to have a lot of popcorn action movies, but action moments, but it's going to take itself way too seriously and try to play it straight. Whereas 2012, I saw that in theaters. I got me and Jester, and a bunch of friends when we were still in Orlando went to go see it, and we liked it. But we liked it because it didn't take itself seriously at all. It was a goofy, big budget, dumb popcorn movie, and for what it was, it got the job done. This one is going in the opposite direction, and like I said, it's going to come out less like 2012 and more like Volcano. And I don't think that this is going to be something for that's going to be good for The Rock. This might be up there with his Disney movies, which I'm not a big fan of. And speaking of Disney movies, it's being directed by the same guy who did Journey to the Center of the Earth 2. So that's the quality you're working with. So I don't know. I'm unimpressed. Then again, I wasn't impressed with the Hercules trailer and ended up liking that movie. So who knows? Burhan, what's your thoughts?
I think the Rock's star. His star's going to kind of take a beating in 2015, in my opinion. I think he's probably going to have it made a little bit with the Fast 7 movie, of course, because he's not the main attraction in that movie. They're going to want to see Paul Walker's final film. But in terms of this, I'm not a fan of disaster movies anyway. I think they've been oversold too much. And I don't see this as an exception. And when it was announced that he was doing a movie called San Andreas, everyone kept thinking GTA. So there's going to be a lot of GTA fans.
I did too. I wanted him to play, what was the name of the cop? Officer Jackson or whatever the name?
The Sam Jackson analog, yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have been great. I'm still waiting for that GTA movie, but hopefully it'll come out, before GTA 7 comes out.
By the way, Pat, you said the winner of the Arnie off is the one who quotes twins.
I don't know any Twins quotes off the top of my head. I know
Yakety
Conan.
yak, don't talk back. I win.
Lips and pass the gums. Look out, stomach. Here it comes.
I don't know
Okay,
any
Miguel
Twins
wins.
quotes off the top of my head. I know Conan. I can know plenty of Conan quotes. What
How
is the
about
riddle
Junior?
of?
How about Junior?
What is the
references?
riddle of steel?
How about Junior references, Patty? Will that work out? No.
I am
Okay.
all woman. There you go.
Brandon, what you just saw the San Andreas trailer actually right before the show started. What was your thoughts on it?
Generic disaster movie is generic.
Please insert
I mean,
generic disaster here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big earthquake's gonna happen in LA. Okay, this movie's gonna probably scare the shit out of me from prevent me from ever moving to California ever.
Okay, just
So-
watched it. Just watched it. So.
All right.
I have no real impersonation from it. I'm sure The Rock will be fine in it. I think The Rock's career will be fine. The Rock's got plenty of other opportunities to make it. And if not, he'll just go back to WWE, build his statue back up, and then, there you go.
Fair enough. Dave, you just saw it like literally just now. What did you think of it?
Oh my god, if you look up the word generic in a dictionary, there's a picture of that fucking trailer in there. The opening shot, hey, look at me, I'm a family man, slow moving music and camera putting up over a city and establishing the fact that I'm someone who does something worthwhile for a job. Oh wait, cracks in the I'm literally giving you a run by run commentary there. Oh wait, cracks in the pavement, brake hard. Camera pulls out, big hole in road. Something's going on. Turns out we live on a fault line. Who knew? And then the little kind of orchestral, almost church music in the background, and the bloke explaining a little bit of maths about it, which is, basically we're all fuck kids. There's nothing we can do about this. Helicopter flying around the side of a building, 2012. This should be my new job. I've just decided. Make me watch a trailer and then describe it 12 seconds afterwards. Helicopter flying around a building, rescuing a generic girl in a car. World is going tits crazy. People are dying. I'm on a dam collapses, and he missed a fucking line here that he could have said based on the rundown, which was he goes, everyone down! No, I think you mean everybody get down! But you wasted that opportunity. There's two things I can take from this trailer. One, it's the most generic thing, and I completely agree with why you think Volcano. Although I like Volcano for one simple scene. The bloke who has to walk through lava and loses his fucking ankles.
That's that's the scene everybody remembers. That's the only scene everybody remembers from that movie. That's really is the money shot scene. Like you bring up Volcano, that's the one thing everybody brings up is that scene where the guy melts trying to get through the train.
Well, but just then you go, helicopter flying over fucking San Andreas, and I was muted, but I was listening to you when I was watching the trailer. But you're right. The first thing when you said San Andreas, my brain just went, they're making a Grand Theft Auto fucking movie? Oh, good luck.
That was me
You
as
better
well.
not make this PG-13.
I was like, oh, this would be perfect for The Rock. You could just stand there shooting the fuck out of people and then just like go over and do something else and not give a fuck. But I don't know.
It just looks so fucking. I know it's popcorn theater, but it looks so cheesy. And then and it's standard. Fucking 5 seconds before the end. Here's a really attractive bird in a very tight tank top.
Yeah, the love interest.
I say she's really attractive, but I know someone's more attractive.
I just don't see this being The Rock's big movie. I know they're whole sort of shoehorning the fact that The Rock could sell anything. And make a failure movie into a fucking amazing film. I just don't see it. I think in terms of his role here,
I think it's ironic that he's called The Rock, but he's in a movie where basically rocks break.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't see it.
I couldn't give a fuck about this movie, I'm not going to lie. I know it's based on that trailer, because I care about Star Wars now, and I didn't before the trailer, and I care about Jurassic World, but I just watched that, my brain just went, someone give me the phone number of the bloke who's making this movie, based entirely upon your teaser trailer, I can tell you everything that's wrong with your entire fucking movie.
Yes, but it's Hollywood. They don't give a fuck.
It's someone
if their movie's
else's
shit.
movie.
Yeah.
Dear bloke who directed San Andreas, it's someone else's movie that's been made 350 times before. Unless you're going to make a remake of Tower Inferno, don't call me.
No, I agree. For me, I don't see any worth in this movie. And as far as I'm concerned, meh. A big meh.
I'd rather talk about the Mad Max trailer. I just watched the Mad Max trailer. I had not seen the trailer for Fury Road up until recently.
I believe we talked about that maybe one news episode or two ago. But yeah, give us your thoughts on
pretty
Fury
excited.
Road, then.
That looks pretty interesting. I'm definitely piqued my interest about that next summer when that comes out.
Dave, have you seen the trailer yet for
Mad
Max?
I have not. I'm going to mute myself. Excuse me a second. I have things to do.
Yeah, in fact, me and Burhan actually have things to do as well. Burhan, do you have a trailer of some sorts we could put on then to give Mr. Dave Wade some time and give us?
I'm sorry, people. I know it's a movie show, but I'm really excited now. I honestly didn't know until you guys mentioned it. What, they're rebooting fucking Mad Max?
It's
a prequel.
They're actually no, it's a sequel to the last one.
It's not a prequel? Pre-sequel?
It's a sequel.
Yeah, it's Mad Max 4, essentially.
Yeah, it's basically a sequel to Beyond the Thunderdome, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Okay, Miguel, why don't you go do
that's
your
the worst
thing?
one.
You come back, and then I'll go do my thing. How about that? So that I can actually talk to Brandon about this quickly. Because I'm interested in this. Being
sweet.
a Mad Max fan, Brandon, I'm interested in this myself. What do you think of it?
I mean, I definitely think that, I mean, we're in the time now where no franchise is safe from a reboot or a recall. So I think if we're calling back franchises from the 80s, absolutely, this is something that's worthy of it. I have faith. I have faith that this is gonna not make me hate something that I love from my youth. So yeah, I have high expectations. High expectations, man. I mean, interesting to see Charlize Theron with short hair.
I just don't know in terms of who they've cast as Mad Max. Do you think he's a worthy successor to to Gibson?
Yeah, he's Bane. He's Bane.
Yeah, but his Bane was terrible.
Hey.
He looked the part. He looked the part. It's just the voice.
I like that.
He sounded like
I
Sean
like that
Connery.
voice.
They might as well put
I
the mask
like
on
that
Sean
voice.
Connery.
I like.
It's a step. You know what? It's a step up from Bane and Batman and Robin. So anything is better than that.
Okay, yeah, but that's like comparing.
He made it his own thing, though. That's what I'm saying.
To the Taliban.
He made it his own thing.
It's like, well,
he made it his own thing.
Yeah.
Now you don't picture anybody else other than Peggy Bane other than a muscly guy with a fucking face mask and a fucking coat.
Okay.
That's Bane now, forever.
Well, listen. Burhan's got to take care of some business while he's out, so we'll get on to our first. We'll kind of talk about our first bit of news while you're doing that, but we won't go too far. I'll leave the Suicide Squad stuff when you get back. But let's go on to our first bit of news, which is the Sony hack. Sony Pictures, Sony Entertainment, their movie branch at least, recently got hacked. Literally, I believe it was the day before Thanksgiving. All of their computers, systems, everything over at the Sony Entertainment arm got hacked.
Actually, I think it was before that because shortly before that, a lot of their key 2014 fall releases and some stuff that had been out in the summer got leaked onto the internet, like screener copies of a lot of movies. I think the screener copies of Annie got leaked onto the internet.
That was actually right after. It was right after the.
I thought it was before.
They were their systems were hacked by a hacker group known as the Guardians of Peace, and they got a hold of a ton of information. I mean, they released a list, just a text list of all the stuff that they got their hold of, and it was basically a gig long, a text file that was a gig big. That's a lot of stuff that they got a hold that they got a whole
lot of text. Isn't this hack though? This is how it played out in the news in this country, was because of that new movie where they're taking the piss out of North Korea and they have to kill fucking King Yong, whatever his fucking name is.
That's how it's got spun here too.
Yeah.
That is
because and this is true because you can actually find it online. That North Korea was very upset, and they actually sent their. I can't believe that North Korea has a foreign office. I thought they just shot people who disagree with their foreign policy, which is pretend we got nuclear weapons. They actually sent a very strong-worded letter to the people who made this movie and saying like, we do not appreciate you portraying us like this and this person because he's a wonderful, wonderful person. He can play 18 rounds of golf in 5 seconds and he's a fucking ninja. How dare you do this?
Yeah,
and
well, the statement North Korea put out was quote. Let me find the quote. Quote.
Other than being hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quote. But we clearly know that it's the Sony that the Sony Pictures is the very well. This is very pidgin English. Okay, but what we clearly know is that the Sony Pictures is the very one which was going to produce a film, albeit a terrorist act, while hurting the dignity of the supreme leadership of the DPRK.
They called it a terrorist act. I mean, look at them.
By taking advantage of the hostile policy of the U.S. administration towards the DPRK. We already called upon the world to turn out in the just struggle to put an end to U.S. imperialism, the chieftain of aggression, and the worst human rights abuser that tramples down the universal rights of people to peace, stable life, and violates the sovereignty of other countries as well as its followers. The hacking into the Sony Pictures might be a righteous deed of the supporter and sympathizers with the DPRK in response to its
They've
appeal.
hacked their banks before. That same group has hacked their banks before. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
They got talent. But what makes me laugh about that is, oi, Kim Young, whatever your fucking name is, first of all, stop cutting your own hair. It doesn't work. Seriously. Second of all, lay off the pies. Am I going to get hacked now? Ah, fuck it. But thirdly, don't talk about human right abuse where basically you make people stand in front of a camera and they don't applaud and cry in front of you. You shoot them. And thirdly, if you don't want to be taken like a fucking idiot around the world, stop making massive lies up about how good you are and how you fucking stroke unicorns as pets. The reason they parried you is because you're a totalitarian dictator twat who basically comes off as the best folly of the world ever. If I'm bored in a pub with my mates and we got nothing to take the piss out of, we always turn to North Korea.
Yeah, I don't want to get
the poor people who live there, because that's not their fault, but just like the people who run it. Jesus Christ, they should bring back Carry On movies and make one about Carry On Korea.
Yeah, I don't want to get too political about this, but I mean,
Can I just say, by the way, I just watched the Mad Max trailer and I think I have a semi.
Yeah, it's not going back to that trailer. It's not a bad trailer. Like,
totally encompasses what you think of Mad Max. It's like it's got Mad Max 2, Road Warrior written all over it.
Yeah, like I don't get
it's got the.
Go ahead. Hello, is everybody out there? Can you guys still hear me?
I can still hear you. I think we just lost Dave.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that normally happens. His internet connection is running on coal, so
squiffy at best.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, I don't get the vibe that this is just a cash-in or this is just them, trying to bring back a franchise that should have probably stayed back. I do legitimately see this as an honest-to-God sequel. Like, I feel like this is being taken with a lot more sincerity than, let's say, Die Hard 4, for instance, which we talked about last week and I thought was a terrible movie.
Because none of the original people involved with it are involved. This is a whole new cast. A lot of up and coming actors too, trying to make their bones. I know. What's his name? The guy who was in X-Men.
James McAvoy?
No. Fuck. God damn it. Nick something or other. Never mind. Guy was Beast.
Kelsey Grammer?
No.
Okay.
In first class X-Men.
Oh, okay.
That kid.
That would be weird seeing Kelsey Grammer with like a mohawk and chaps.
Yeah, no. I mean, but like, there's a lot of like he's in this movie. Like I said, I think Tom Hardy's is at the point now where he could carry a movie. Enough people have saw him and recognize him as Bane. Where he can.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that this is a new cast because it's still being directed by George Miller. It's
the mastermind.
Yeah,
the mastermind.
It's him coming back, so I think that's why, to me, it feels like such a genuine movie because it's being made by the same guy who made the other ones. So it's got to be genuine.
Yes, that's why I thought it was like kind of like a prequel too, because like they're kind of like setting up the fall of society and stuff like that. That there's wars for oil, wars for water.
Yeah, and you don't see that many like brown dystopian
Mad Max was the only one to really do that.
That very Ozploitation look, which is very distinct.
When things go tits up, but it's usually just urban decay and people just go feral. This goes, people go fucking macro fucking psychotic.
Yeah, like I said, I saw it. I was impressed. I'll be honest. I still have to see The Road Warrior. I still haven't seen that movie, but that's one of those movies on my list. Like, when I get the chance, if I ever get a copy, I'm gonna really sit down and watch it. But that's something. Fury Road, I might have to look forward to. And it looks like we just lost Dave. Let me try to bring him back into the call.
We go in. We kill.
But yeah, going back to the news we were talking about, the Sony hack, there's been a lot of stuff coming out of it, and I just want to point out that the whole North Korea thing, the Hollywood Reporter actually got a hold of some of the files that were leaked, and leaked with them is a message from the hackers saying, quote, "Stop immediately showing the movie of terrorism which can break the regional peace and cause the war," which a lot of people are saying is a direct reference to The Interview, which is the Seth Rogen... is that James Franco?
A James Franco Seth Rogen movie is going to bring back World War III and nuclear apocalypse upon the world. I highly doubt it. This is saber rattling. All they're really gonna... Okay, yeah, they're gonna, like... I mean...
there's actually a theory going around that this is actually not the North Koreans, that it's actually some, like, hipster hacker group that is calling themselves the GOP, going out there hacking Sony because they can. I mean, this isn't the first time Sony's been hacked. I mean...
I wouldn't be surprised though, if it was a North Korean-sponsored cyber attack. I mean, there is rumblings...
Like a Chinese hackers that were sponsored by him?
Like that's going to be the new... That's the new field of warfare, people, is cyberspace. I mean, you realize that most of the world's power grids are run by computers, and
dude, we went off on a rant about how ridiculous Die Hard 4 looks, where it was the whole concept of the fire sale and whatnot. Like, we kind of ripped on that whole idea, but I mean, I don't know. I don't. It wouldn't surprise me in this day and age if it was a bunch of, like, trolls from 4chan or something that were like, hey,
hello.
So Sony essentially just leaves their passwords out in the open. Let's take advantage of it, because
well, they do, because they stole money from me and never gave me the money back.
Oh, well, they did give you free games. I got a copy of Infamous for free because of that hack.
No, I didn't. I got a this is after the fact. Someone stole £30 from my Sony wallet. I got the £30 back, and at least you got your 30 quid, Sony, because fuck you.
Yeah, this is from a company standpoint, something like this could really hurt Sony Pictures. I mean, it's bad enough that they hurt their gaming line with the hack from 2 or 3 years ago. This has had huge repercussions.
Or they should just, improve their web security.
Yeah, you would think.
Might be a good idea.
Yeah.
You would think that they would do that, especially after what happened.
Use some of the money that they're hemorrhaging to, like, upgrade their web security. Would help.
Yeah.
Just a little.
But yeah, Burhan, we just mentioned this. Do you want to give your quick 2 cents on the whole, this being a North Korean thing, and what your thoughts on the whole hack is overall before we go into some of the fallout news that came out of it?
It's impossible. Where's Dave?
His internet connection dropped out. He didn't have enough coal to power his modem, so he basically just dumped out. I've been trying to bring him back in, but Dave, give me 5 minutes. Let me just let your modem basically warm up, and I'll try to bring you back in.
And as you always say, Dave, no soup for you, because I'm having soup. What do I think of the whole North Korea
thing? The hack
thing?
as is, yeah. The idea that it's North Korea that's doing this.
I don't give a fuck. Truthfully, the thing is, Sony needs to basically get better protection. It's like going in dry and unprotected.
I knew you were gonna go there.
You're gonna
Come
end
on,
up with
Burhead.
either some sexually transmitted diseases, or basically some kids flying around here or there. Which, when the doctor asks, "Hey, do you have any sexually transmitted diseases?" Yes, 4 children. But yeah, It's one
I
of
wouldn't
those.
say it in a public forum, but
Let us know what you think in the comments section on YouTube, folks.
But it is one of those things where with Sony, they need to upgrade their security. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You know.
Well, they're starting to learn their lesson because there's been a lot of fallout from this. Probably one of the biggest ones was several of their upcoming films, including one that was already in theaters, actually got leaked because of
By
this.
the way, A.E.
According
O'Shea says Brandon's impression's better.
well,
of course Amanda's gonna say.
we got a lot of women watching this podcast. Well, this video cast. I'm really digging that. We need more of that.
I'm just trying to figure
But,
out
hopefully-
who this lovely young lady is.
Fair.
Is this one of your many fans, Brandon?
Yeah, we'll say that.
Okay, she's one of Brandon's fans. She's a Brandon fangirl. She's got I Heart Ligon t-shirt.
She's a Slamcast groupie, basically.
A Slamcast ring rat.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah.
I had to. I'm gonna be.
Yeah, this is what happens when you side with Brandon,
so much
O'Shea.
fucking. I am so much fucking trouble.
By the way, her and Pat are having such an amazing conversation. She goes, that's why I reported in New York as well. She goes, and always will. That's because it's fucked up. Lava death is not something we think about much these days. And she goes, she replies, that's why, thanks, Annie Hesh. Not going to even try and spell it right. Anne Hesh. Congrats, want a cookie? Yes, give cookie. Opens window and throws cookie out to the traffic. These girls are just having a fun time here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but going back to those movies that were leaked, several films actually. Couple Oscar Oscar hopefuls like Still Alice and Mr. Turner. You got two right love on her arms, right written as WRITE, which I don't even know. It's a Kat Dennings movie, so you might be interested in that, Burhan.
Yes, and Kat, I keep telling you, once you drop the other guy, give me a call, because
Road to restraining order.
yeah, I'm still trying.
You've also got Fury, which was the Brad Pitt war movie, which is in theaters now. That got leaked over the internet, but probably the biggest one that got leaked, in my opinion, and the one that most people have their eyes on, is the Annie remake. The one starring.
I mean, that one. I wouldn't say most people had their eyes on it.
Not so well.
Because most people have their eyes on it because it's not quite out in theaters yet, and you could watch it on DVD quality right
By
now.
the way, Amanda just said, Brandon, I have a shirt that he gave to me from a con. ...
I do. She does have several shirts.
She goes,
Well, no, she has that.
I asked her, does it smell? And she hasn't replied yet. And Patty just replied with, cookies are serious business.
It shouldn't smell. I mean, she does do her laundry fairly regularly, so.
Yeah, she goes, it smells like roses.
She does smell particularly nice.
She washed Brandon off the shirts. Sorry, Miguel.
I say a lot of people have their eyes on it because this one's got a lot of backing behind it. It's being produced by Jay-Z and the Smiths, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. It's got Jamie Foxx in the role of the Mr. Moneybags, or I forget what he was in the first movie. You've got Cameron Diaz playing a role, and this.
Sorry about that.
No problem there, mate.
I just want to quickly say, if we go back to North Korea, if they want to hack something, can you fucking hack Microsoft and tell them to stop fucking updating my computer when I tell them no, don't update it? Oh wait, now you're updating, and I didn't even ask.
Oh, okay. We thought it was you ran out of coal to power your modem.
Possibly that as well. My donkey, I had to shoot him the other day, so now I literally have my friend on a cycle, on a treadmill, running.
That's why you wanted to
You got a
invite me
hamster on
over.
there.
Mike,
You
come over and
people,
write
you
a
laugh, right? By the way, can I just be serious? You laugh, but where I live right now, literally, I watch the weather report on the news and just think, oh fuck, tomorrow I'm going to lose my internet.
You're in one of those places. All
By the way,
right,
Dave,
fair
there's
enough.
an awesome conversation going on between Amanda and Pat at the moment as they're talking about cookies. This is the Untitled Movie Show live chat, people. That's why you should come to these shows, check out the live chat, and comment.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to start promoting the show more if that's the case, especially the live chat. But yeah, going back to the Annie remake, all the other movies on the list, with the exception of Fury, are mostly like Oscar-nominated pieces. Annie,
Wait,
Are you talking Annie as in the original?
Yeah,
They're basically Annie with an all-black cast.
yeah,
Want to talk about Burhan? I can dig it.
yeah. I don't. Let's not go there because I heard what that joke was going to be, and I want to steer away from that. But
He's a complicated man who no one understands him but his chihuahua.
you know what's actually funny about the story is that based off of the numbers of people who have downloaded those movies, actually the Annie remake is actually getting the lowest numbers of downloads. I think it's only like 200,000 people have downloaded it, which if you take into account, yeah, if you take into account your average ticket prices, that's not a lot. I think that barely breaks $1 million.
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing.
I think they were pulled that people didn't pirate the movie. That's what Jay-Z and here's the thing.
Here's the thing, though. The people that were going to pirate that movie weren't going to go see that movie anyway in theaters. Yeah. And the people that were going to see that movie in theaters aren't going to pirate that movie to go see it.
I think there's also an element in it which is you can't. Certain movies, I mean, as you said earlier on, Brandon, which is Hollywood will remake whatever it wants to remake right now. Nothing is sacred. But I think there are certain movies that really are, whether Hollywood can't see it or not. And I don't think you can remake a movie like Annie. And it's not about, race, creed, color, or anything like that. It's not about that. It's just when something's so kind of enshrined within people's hearts, because and obviously a classic movie, some stuff you just don't touch with a fucking barge pole because people aren't going to be receptive to you doing anything with it.
No, I agree. It's basically the fact that they thought this was a good idea. They should have really tested it with people and said, is this a good idea? And you're not just telling us that because you're afraid that we're going to call you racists. I think there's certain things you can do, but when you do something like this, you really, really need to kind of think about what you're doing here. I don't have an issue with it too much in terms of the general premise of the idea. I just don't. Seeing it on the screen and basically insinuating names like calling Jamie Foxx Hughie Bucks really makes me want to take a piss on Will Smith.
Well, actually,
his
name is Will Stacks.
That's it. Fucking
no, like creed, color, anything like that aside, none of that. My brain just looks at this and just thinks, bold, cool. You're remaking Annie. This is not going to end well.
Well, here's the thing: and this is my mentality with Annie. It's already been remade. We saw they made the movie. They had adapted the theater show in '82 with the original movie. They remade it again. Disney did in '99, and there was a TV remake earlier than that in 1995. So it's already been remade like 2 or 3 times.
I retract all of my previous comments because I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, the only difference is this is the same story but with a black cast because that's a new spin on it, I guess. But
no, it's not.
Thanks, Obama.
It's not. It's one of those things where they're kind of going overboard with this shit, and that's one of the things that annoys me. Being a former Klan member myself, that was a joke, by the way, people. I'm not actually.
Don't joke around like that, Burhan.
Yeah, that's where Miguel's from. Miguel probably has Klan members for his neighbor.
Yeah,
we're trying to keep a fan base here, Burhan.
It's one of those things where I just don't see it working in the direction that they're trying to take, and especially after the bullshit of After Earth, Will Smith should stop producing anything and just stick to where his money is.
You should just stick to the Graham Norton show because that was epic.
That was fucking epic.
I love Will. At least I'll give Will Smith credit. At least he didn't cast any of his kids as Annie because that was the original idea.
That was the original idea. And then people got really pissed off about Will pimping his kids.
Yeah.
And I can understand the reason why.
Speaking of go off on weird tangents here, anybody seen the fake internet article about Jaden Smith wanting to cut off his penis?
No, but I'm sorry.
It was some weird internet meme that went around that Jaden Smith said he was going to cut off his penis because that doesn't define him as a man or all this other shit. I'm just like, what? Oh, what?
I know
You know,
they
Had
did.
fucking Kickstarter,
they did-
and whoever raises the most money for charity gets to do it for him.
Fuck it, just
I'm
give the
pretty sure
money to
people would
me and
line
I'll
up.
cut his penis off.
Can I do it? Can I do it with a big sword like Kaientai? Choppy, choppy, your pee.
Can I do it with a
God.
food blender?
Well, this is what I
Good
started.
times. Good times.
Yeah, look at the madness you've unleashed. But
Good times.
it-
All right.
You were
Suicide
so
Squad.
no, not
Suicide
yet, not
Squad.
yet. We've got 2 more bits of news in terms
Oh.
of the Sony hack to talk about, and then we will finish off with the Suicide Squad. But another bit of news that popped out, apparently there's a bit of inner backlash between Sony Pictures and Happy Madison, Adam Sandler's company.
Is that because he
Gawker
signed
actually,
with Netflix for that deal?
that might be the case. All I know is Gawker actually leaked an email that was sent out from executives at Sony Pictures, and some of the blurbs they leaked out tell an interesting story. Quoting the email, "There's a general blahness to the films we produce. Although we manage to produce an innovative film once in a while, Social Network, Moneyball, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, we continue to be saddled with the mundane, formulaic Adam Sandler films. Let's raise the bar a little on the films we produce and inspire employees that they are working on the next Social Network." Unquote. Another quote actually is, "Perhaps it's a generational thing, but I've been disappointed with the content of some of the films we've been producing lately. I don't think people who know me would consider me a prude, but the boorish least common denominator slate strikes me as a waste of resources and reputation." So yeah, taking some inner shots at Adam Sandler. Do you think Sony's finally kind of turning the corner and basically like, why are we associating ourselves with this guy? I mean, I know we love money and everything, but yeah,
Well, think about it this way. Your credentials as a film company define on who you're working with. And how much of, "I'm going to ride a bicycle," or "I'm going to go and poop my pants," can you take? Seriously. There's only so much parody that you can take, and Adam Sandler literally is copy and paste him going, "I'm going to do a funny voice, and I'm going to sit here and do this funny voice." Meh.
well,
South Park summed it up perfectly with the Osmo episode, didn't they?
yeah, he came up with all the. It was like, it's like,
Adam Sandler is a Dalmatian.
yeah,
and,
Adam Sandler is a millionaire that has to box to hold on to his money.
I think Mike's right, which is, and there are some Adam Sandler movies I really love, but they're old school ones when he was clearly hungry after Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, now he does it for a fucking free holiday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually admitted the only reason he takes a lot of these movies is because he gets to take trips and hang out with his friends.
Here's an
And
idea.
it's
Just
like,
stop
where's
making
your
movies,
passion
and you can hang
project?
out with your friends all fucking
Yeah.
night long. Ugh.
I think the studios basically just said, right, yeah, we make a lot of money off him, but there's no denying that the backlash out there, mainly thanks to Internet Land, is
He's shit.
we're a joke. We're a joke for
Well, I think if he went back to making consistently funny movies like The Waterboy, like Happy
His Christmas movie is his Hanukkah movie, the animated one.
Yeah, Eight Crazy Nights was funny. Like, I mean, if
I
you go
got to
back-
debate you on Waterboy. I was not a fan of that. I
was 15 when I was
Kathy
saying
Bates
something, and
is
that doesn't
hilarious
hold up.
in Waterboy. I love her in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say Kathy Bates and Faruka Balk. I've
Girls
always had a
are the
heart for her.
devil.
I've always been a
She
fan.
showed me her boobies.
There's just a bit when he sees her chewing him out every time he tackles a bloke in football.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh my god, I just said football like it's actually American. Sorry. that
I'll
would be-
defend Little Nicky before I defend Water.
Little Nicky's fucking brilliant. Just because it's got Hitler having a pineapple shoved up his ass backwards. And that's what Hitler deserves. And he just drops his pants and accepts it. Yeah. Fine. In hell. Do it then. Go for it.
You know, I'm
Amanda
actually
says
gonna say
that,
this.
Big Daddy was cute though.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, like I said, like he hasn't made consistently funny material in almost 15 years.
What
It's
would you
been
say his last funny movie was?
Funny People? Funny People was really funny.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
Yeah.
that
But I
wasn't-
wouldn't-
that
I
wasn't
wouldn't say that
directed
was
by him
his.
or produced by him. That was a.
No, that was Judd Apatow.
Yeah, and I think he knew how to kind of steer Sandler in a proper direction. The problem is with Sandler is if you leave him to his own devices, He kind of just does this for most of the movies.
The first, I didn't see Grown Ups 2, but Grown Ups was a very formulaic movie, but what I liked about Grown Ups was the banter between the main characters. It reminded me a lot of
movie because I felt there was still some
it reminds everybody of their banter between them and their friends.
Yeah,
When it's just the 5 leads, yes. Everything else on that movie,
everything for the story movie, everything was for the story was formulaic and tripe and.
Well, not even formulaic, and this is something I hate about Adam Sandler movies. He has characters in his movies that he almost dares you to try to like. Like they're so unnecessarily unlikable, especially a lot of the characters Sandler himself plays. That I don't know why you would fill up a movie with that kind of character. Like
I have something to say that might shock people.
And him playing his own transvestite sister. Just saying.
Yeah. This does kind of shock
Once he went full Eddie Murphy.
I kind of like Zohan. I enjoyed that movie.
No, that was a good movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah, Zohan, I haven't seen it yet, but from what I've seen of it, it's probably his least offensive movie in terms of his. Then again,
I felt he was invested in that movie.
Yeah, he takes the piss out of himself, and the fact that he has this whole fucking military, like Superman-ish kind of background.
Fight scenes, but the fight scenes in that movie are so funny.
Yeah, and the whole film
when
is
both
hilarious.
his feet come off the floor at the same point.
It is
Manuel
fucking
Cherky.
hilarious, and someone actually made me a banner for my Facebook page saying you can't mess with the Burhan, and I laugh at it. That is a secretly fun movie, but when was Zohan made, and when was the rest of this shit made?
Zohan was 2008.
Yeah, I would say that was the last
important.
important.
Than that.
For me, that was the last important Sandler movie. Everything else is tripe.
Yeah, and even then, even if you go after it, honestly, I'm gonna go further back. I'm gonna say the last movie of his that I liked was The Longest Yard remake. I actually did not hate that movie.
I like the music video. It's just the funny bit where he just comes out and he goes, "Hey Nelly, why have you got my car? I need to go take my car now. Stop pretending it's yours and put a damn shirt on."
I don't know. I really dug the movie. There was enough. Maybe it was the wrestling geek in me that saw people like Kevin Nash and Steve Austin and the Great Khali in there. But I kind of did like that movie. But after that, it's just it really is just difficult, And even then, the movies that you can link him to, because I've seen someone here that are not bad, but he's mostly just an executive producer.
But he doesn't need the money anymore. So this is what I don't get about people in his position, which is he has, whether he's your taste or not, he has a solid base of movies after Saturday Night Live that people love and adore, and he's rich now. So like when he said, he just says, "I openly admit that I do this where fucking laughs and shits with my mates and free holidays." It's like, but you don't need to. When did you lose the fire in your belly? Go back to being fucking old Sandler, which is, I know you're never everyone's cup of tea. I get that, but give me a fucking sequel that you actually fucking care about. It's a Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a while. I mean, he's complacent. He's in his 40s. He's got a family, and companies like Sony are apparently willing to throw money at him to just go out there and hang out with his friends, and people still go out to watch him. Like, to me, I will never forgive the American audience for putting Grown Ups 2 over Pacific Rim. Because Grown Ups 2 beat out Pacific Rim at the box office when it came out.
Really?
Yeah,
Did it?
No
Yeah.
offense. In terms of dialogue, Pacific Rim was kind of trashy.
But come on, man. Pacific Rim versus Grown Ups 2.
Couldn't you say that's every Sadler movie, though, which is kind of...
No, but I still, even with Pacific Rim being the way that it was, it should have beat out Grown Ups 2.
Well, I think Pacific Rim, while it was a great movie, and I love the actor, I love Charlie Hunnam as an actor, not ready to be a lead actor in a movie yet. Lead actor in a television series, he did fucking awesome. By the way, the Sons of Anarchy finale was like tops.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that because I did see something in the TV guide about it.
It was a little heavy. I felt it was kind of a little heavy-handed with a lot of their imagery and stuff like that. Like a lot of these. If you've ever watched Sons of Anarchy, like every episode kind of ends on kind of like a musical montage.
I've only seen one episode. Is that show everyone talks about like Breaking?
It is.
Really that good?
I only came into it in the last year, and I binge watched it. If you're looking for a perfect show to binge watch, it's got 6 seasons. You can blow through it in about a month, depending on how much you watch. But yeah, it got me. It's pretty brutal for a cable TV show.
That's one of the reasons why I just wasn't a big fan of it. I saw one of the first episodes.
What cable channel makes it, by the way?
FX.
FX.
So it does have.
It was one of the staff writers on The Shield was the creator of it.
It's very much in that type of vein, which I've said it before. The Shield is probably one of the best shows of the previous decade. I'll put it up there hands down, at least in top 3.
Right. But like I said, Pacific Rim was a great movie, but could not Charlie Hunnam could not carry that movie. I mean, everyone was just too. At least now, while Sons of Anarchy was on, if he tries to do a movie, I think Pacific Rim 2 will be much more successful now that Sons of Anarchy isn't on TV.
But come on, man, Pacific Rim being beaten out by Grown Ups 2. I mean, that made me sad.
I think Pacific Rim was targeting a specific market where Grown Ups 2 was a lot broader of a film.
Yeah. I mean, it very much hit with a broad stroke, but then again, so does a frying pan.
Yes, very much so.
Let's move on to one last bit of Sony news before we move on to the Suicide Squad news. And
the big one, I would say.
Yeah. There actually was another leak by the Hollywood Reporter that shows that Sony was actually in talks with a crossover with 2 of their big franchises, and I guarantee you, if I gave you the chance to think about them, you will never guess what 2 franchises.
What? You crossover?
Yeah, crossover, and it's actually the Wall Street Journal who actually leaked the information.
Is it a comic book crossover?
Nope.
Ooh. I'm very intrigued and aroused.
21 Jump Street and Men in Black.
Ooh.
There
would
are
fail
plans,
miserably.
Yeah, there are plans to have the main characters from 22 Jump Street, Schmidt and Jenko, played by Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum respectively, appear in a planned crossover between them and Men in Black, specifically.
They should become Men in Black agents.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
Do. They're basically going to get the Men in Black.
Whoa! One at a time, boys. One at a time. Burhan, you start first.
I think they're going to get the 2 guys to take over the franchise, which is smart because Smith demands too much money.
Yeah, good move on that.
Yeah.
And there is also talks to try to get Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who are the directors of the Street franchise, to come in to direct this if it gets off the ground. Right at this point, it's just kind of in its very infant stages, but Sony apparently has the idea of crossing over these 2 franchises, and like you said,
they don't need to though, because
Men in
Black
continue one over the other. And 21 Jump
but what I'm
Street's
saying
kind of
is
had its day now. They can't do 23 or 24.
Yeah, but it's not fail. It's not necessarily a failed franchise. Is what I'm saying, because they both took reasonable. The 21 and 22 Jump Street movies took reasonable box office gross. So it's not like they're failures that need to be kind of supported by something else. If that makes sense.
No, but
I think
it's
from
a good
an
move.
idea standpoint.
Yeah, it's a good move because it gets rid of them having to pay out more money to Will Smith. Which is the big thing. What most people don't know, even though Men in Black 3 was a unanimous success, it didn't actually make a profit.
It made it back worldwide.
No, but it didn't make a profit.
I thought it made it back. It broke money, but...
No, but it broke even worldwide, and this is the reason.
Yeah, which is obviously stinker in Hollywood land.
Yeah, Will Smith's back-end deal. He had a fucking humongous back-end deal and was paid a huge
So basically
lump sum.
what we talked about it before, which is if he didn't have that humongous back-end deal, that movie had
made
a chance.
Profit. Yeah. And I think Sony's still sour on that. I would be too, for fucking, he held it by the balls because he was like, well, if I'm going to do this, you got to pay me X amount.
It's the reason why the announced Independence Day sequel is not going to have Will Smith, because Fox does not put up with that.
Yeah, because Fox doesn't put up with that shit. There's one thing that Fox doesn't do.
It's a disease now, is it?
Well, I'm not going to say much.
Yeah, let's not go into that. Let's get your point out.
I do want a career after this show. The one thing you can say about Fox is they don't put up with shit. and
which I like.
Yeah,
I
Will
have to
Smith
say, I
kind
do like
of.
that.
He's at the moment. I think he knows that he's aging. He knows he wants to get the most out of his career as possible, and he's kind of Chris Tuckering everybody. For those of you who know what I mean by that reference, with Chris Tucker and Rush Hour, there's a reason why there's not going to be another Rush Hour movie, because the guy demands too much freaking money. Thus, they're not putting up with that crap, so they're going to tend to go. What they said about Independence Day, there was 2 scripts, one with Will Smith's character in, one without, and they can go either way. So it's kind of one of those things where I can see the idea behind the Men in Black thing. You've got 2 established characters. You've got them from a franchise that people love. They're very comedic. They will work within that element because it would be hilarious to see them as Men in Black agents. And you can have Tommy Lee Jones returning basically as the head of operations, in a sense, to kind of rein these guys in.
Wasn't Helen Mirren in the 3rd one playing the new lead of Men in Black? I know it was one.
It was. What the fuck was her name? She's a blonde-haired actress. She did Junior. What was her name?
Let me look this up. Men in Black 3. I feel like it was a British actress.
Kenneth Branagh's ex-wife. What's her name?
Was it Emma Thompson?
Yes.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that might have been her then. All right. Yes, the head of Men in Black. Yeah, Agent O. You know what? I guess. I mean, yeah, like going back to what you said. I mean, they really did. There really is no place for them to go with the whole 22 Jump Street, because they even took the piss out of it at the end of their movie, as I just saw the end credits scene for 22 Jump Street, where it's them just going to different like culinary school and flight school and all that. So even they kind of realized, yeah, there's nowhere we can go with this franchise. But I mean, if they wanted to take those 2 characters and have them be the new Men in Black characters, they've got a great chemistry with each other. I mean, the idea to get them together would be ridiculous, but I think they, as actors, could pull it off.
And they wouldn't be holding the production by the fucking neck. Demanding.
No, I get that, but the only thing I worry about is that and on paper it does sound good, but trying too hard to force something to happen for their own ends, if that makes sense.
Well, like I said, there's not much they're going to do with the Men in Black franchise as is, so whatever they decide to do would probably be a fresh start. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows where it can go? Brandon, what do you think about this idea?
I like the idea in concept. It's just going to be a very, very, very. I would like to see how they're actually going to connect these 2 franchises, because to say it's a tenuous grasp at best would be a long shot.
It's a crossing the streams moment.
I hope if somebody, as long as like they're combining 2 franchises, I hope Nick Offerman becomes a Men in Black agent, or is the one who references them. Yes, aliens.
Yeah. By the way, go back to the chat for a second. Patimus and Amanda basically said. Amanda says, "I really like MIB 3. I did too, by the way. I thought 2 sucked." And Patimus
2 was a fucking train wreck of bollocks.
Yeah, agreed.
I liked 2 when I was like young.
Was awful. And the man is upset about the fact there's no Mrs. Doubtfire 2.
Well,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
Let's not bring that up. We already did a whole tribute episode.
Well, I'm kind of glad
back.
that we're not going to see another Mrs. Doubtfire. So.
Same here. But let's go into the one I know that Brandon, and I know you've been wanting to get into, the big bit of news that was leaked. The cast of the Suicide Squad has been leaked.
Yeah.
It has been announced, actually, by DC. Now, before we get into the main bit of news, Burhan and Brandon, can you guys explain to me the Suicide Squad? Because I'm relatively new to the expanded universe of DC. I mean, I know the classic Justice League, but everybody's talking about the Suicide Squad. They're a big
basically,
deal.
It's Bizarro Justice League, or Reverse Justice League.
Yeah, basically, these are a team of villains that get these collars attached to their necks. Now, basically, they're employed by a group called Argus. Now, what they do is they... and the head of that's Amanda Waller. In the cartoon, she was a big, fat black woman. In Arrow, she's more of a sexier black woman. So
yeah, she's played by... Actually, she's been played by multiple actresses. Yes. I've forgotten. She actually... In Smallville, she was actually played by Pam Grier. Yeah. In the Green Lantern movie, she was played by Amanda Bassett.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's got a different character. I forget her actress's name in Arrow.
Angela Bassett.
Oh yeah, Angela Bassett. And actually, DC actually.
She was in the Tin Sun movie, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, she played her best.
And actually, there's been talk of another actress playing her in the new movie version, Oprah Winfrey. DC's announced that they want.
No.
I mean, I'm sure they would love that. But there's only one actress around right now that can play Amanda Waller, and that's CCH Pounder.
I was just about to say that. I'm shocked that she hasn't been cast as Amanda Waller. She'll be perfect.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, that's what that character is basically drawn after, I think.
I'm surprised they didn't get her to play her in Arrow. Like, when they were announcing that they were going to get Amanda Waller to play in Arrow, I thought, all right, you've already gotten Pam Grier, you got Angela Bassett, give CCH Pounder a chance to play that character. I honestly was surprised when they didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
she's just coming off of Sons of Anarchy, her role in that, and she was really too good as like the DA in the last couple seasons of that. So, give her the shot.
Yeah. For me, I see it as having like Waller in it. She needs to be young. She needs to be enthusiastic. She needs to be kind of the woman who won't take shit from anyone. If I see Oprah Winfrey in that role, I'm just expecting her to go collars for everyone.
Well, to be fair though, she can do dramatic. I mean, I still remember her performance in The Color Purple. I heard she was actually really good in The Butler, so she can play a serious dramatic role.
Seriously, and I think in terms of her overhead, she'd be too much. And the fact, in terms of what they were doing, this is what Sony should have done with the Sinister Six movie, if that makes sense. This is what you do when you put a bunch of villains and you put them in the role of protagonists, because they're forced to be. These guys don't want to be in that role. They're forced to be. Having the Joker in it, kind of weird, because the Joker was never, I from what I've recollected, was never a member of the Suicide Squad. But
yeah, that's a token gesture.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I think they're doing it just to have
them kind of guaranteeing box office draw.
Yeah, because they want a lead villain protagonist villain person there.
Hey, they want someone recognizable, because let's face it, apart from Harley Quinn, Deadshot's really not recognizable outside of Arrow.
But very smart of them casting Smith in this role.
I was just about to mention that.
Harley Quinn will like have sex with you, but I'm pretty sure the minute I finish, you'll be like a praying mantis and bite my.
And they nailed the casting of Harley Quinn too, because I thought she was absolutely fucking fantastic in Wolf of Wall Street, which was a fantastic movie. But I really want.
I love that movie so much.
I really want Arlene. What's the name of the woman who did the voice of Harley Quinn in the animated series?
Wasn't it Tara Strong?
I don't. No,
Tara Strong did it in the games and stuff like that. She did a very good job too, but Arlene something or other, the woman who did the voice of Harley Quinn, did it best. I want her to take that woman's her performance and then her voice on top of it.
Arlene Sorkin.
Arlene Sorkin, there you go. Arlene Sorkin over. God damn it! What was the name of the woman that?
In the new one,
Margot Robbie. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I would take Arlene Sorkin's voice over Margot Robbie's body. Boom, you got a fucking perfect.
It's kind of like any live action Batman character character. If I could just get what's it? Not Robert Conway. I always forget this. I forget this.
Kevin Conroy.
If you could just transplant Kevin Conroy's voice over any of the live action Batman characters, you'd be set.
Yes. Batman Forever would be so much great. Batman and Robin would be awesome if it was Kevin Conroy's voice over George Clooney's.
I still want the Batman Forever fucking director's cut. It's apparently an R-rated movie, but that's a moot point. It's never going to happen. Because apparently it exists.
Yeah, it does exist. Tim Burton actually said it does exist, but we're probably never going to see that. But that's another episode. I do have one question, though. With Jared Leto being brought in as the Joker, do you think this is a way of them kind of tying this into the supposed Batman reboot that they're coming out with?
He will basically be the Joker for the long haul, because apparently he has signed a multi-film deal, which all of them have. So we're going to see these guys cross over. in terms of, as Dave puts it, crossing the streams.
I could see Ben Affleck fighting Jared Leto. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, my big issue in this whole situation, I will say this, and I'll say this now, the fact that they've got a Suicide Squad movie before the Batman movie, I don't know, but they've got some big names, they've got some big heavy hitters. Smith's in it, which, as long as he doesn't try and take a big back end chunk of it, the film's gonna probably will make a profit.
Well,
and if it's
let
done
me
right
ask you
with
a
good
question.
story.
Let me ask you a question about that, because I'm not too familiar with the character of Deadshot. Is Smith the right pick for that character? Because Will Smith can play a certain type of action movie lead or an action movie star, but not his acting in terms of that regard isn't very broad. So I'm not too familiar with Deadshot. I don't know if his personality would fit Smith. So is this something that you think will fit properly?
I think they cast somebody with too high of a profile than Will Smith. I think if they went somebody
Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White, yes, you said that.
Oh, he would have been perfect.
He's playing. Isn't he playing Deadshot in the Arrow series?
No, I think they went with a white guy in the Arrow series as Deadshot.
Okay.
Which was weird. But.
Yeah,
No,
I was going to
but,
actually mention that.
Deadshot
I think a lot of the Arrow series
was a white
kind of turn
character.
things on.
What was that?
He was a white character. They just changed him for
the movie essentially, which
not just for the movie. They changed him for the animated as well. And I believe in the new 52, that's who Deadshot's going to be. So I don't see a problem because it could be the rebooted one. You know.
All right, I was going to ask that. Like, do you think there's going to be a bit of backlash? Because I didn't mention this when we talked about Star Wars, but there was the whole backlash about there being a black stormtrooper and how, a lot of the fans kind of backlashed against that. Was there going to be a big issue with casting Will Smith in that role? But it sounds like there's not going to be that big of a problem.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't seem like a huge issue because Deadshot's not a major character. They've only just touched base with him in the Attack on Arkham movie, which was really good. I have to admit, it was a very kind of Deadshot movie. I don't see an issue with it. Again, if they've got a good story going on, I'm not a big fan of David S. Goyer after the butchering he did of Superman, but we've got to kind of hold our horses.
Well, let's look at some of the other castings because we mentioned Jared Leto as the Joker, we mentioned Will Smith as Deadshot, we mentioned Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. What about Tom Hardy as Rick Flag? I'm not too familiar with Rick Flag. I like Tom Hardy.
He's not a character that I would know. I think he has that American like flag on his face. The last time I saw him, he got beaten up by Batman. And kicked in the face.
Let me pull his in. Yeah, there's not much information on him. Yeah, Rick Flag. Yeah, I can't really find any. Let me see if I can find some pictures of him. I'm not too familiar with the character, but like I said, I'm not too familiar with the Suicide Squad. So, I'm not sure.
It's a bold move, though. Do you know what? It's a good move for people who are fans, but it's a bold move for a movie. I will say that. But then I think DC right now is kind of looking at stuff that Marvel did, particularly with Guardians of the Galaxy, and saying, like, how the fuck was that the biggest movie last year?
It's a bold move. It's a bold move casting Will Smith in a role that's where he's...
It's a bold move putting Will Smith in a fucking movie, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, he's a good actor. Let's not... So we can't...
Oh, no, he is a good actor,
but it's a bold move by him taking a role where he's not the knight in shining armor kind of role because he's
that was one of the reasons.
ever since I mean he got the Oscar nomination in what was the movie way back way back when he went gay.
I forgot about that movie. I remember which one. That was early in his career.
Yeah, early in his career. I mean,
he played a gay character in a movie. This would have been like pre-Independence Day, actually.
It was actually while
yeah, I remember that. That was
while Fresh Prince was still on the air.
Yeah, he was. It was one.
Well, that's a really. You know what? Now I've got respect for him again because that's a really big.
It's like Circle. I want to say Circle of Friends.
Yeah, he played. No, it was 6 Degrees of Separation. It was called.
6 Degrees of Separation. There you go.
Yeah, it was basically the whole thing was everybody in the story was united by his character. and he would even turn certain people gay in like there was a scene where he has sex with this girl's boyfriend who then commits suicide because he can't handle the fact he's gay. It was one of those things, and then
couldn't handle that.
It was a
swindler. Terrible jokes.
His character was like a swindler who would integrate himself into people's lives and like take them for all they were worth. But he would say, "Oh, I'm showing you, like, I'm trying to show you how to have fun and stuff like that."
You know, ever since then, he's always been the knight in shining armor character. I don't think Will Smith has ever been the antagonist in a movie.
No. The closest he came was he was initially going to be cast as Django in Django Unchained, but he turned down that role. Which I think was better off because I could not see Will Smith playing that character.
No, Jamie Foxx did that role absolutely perfect justice. You know?
Yeah.
And I can't see anybody else doing it. Just, I don't think anybody else could have emulated that voice. I just like the way he does that hushed voice.
I think they should remake Rocky IV with Jamie Foxx and Will Smith.
You never seen a nigga on a horse before?
Well, they did kind of. It was called Ali.
Yes, sort of a little bit.
See, I have a problem with Ali. I know this is not a podcast about that, but my problem with Ali is he's brilliant. He really is, and he deserved the Oscar and shit because he really is Ali. But from historical perspective and actual content of Ali fights, there was fuck all in it.
Yeah, it was mostly just the character. It was mostly about the man himself, not the fight.
Yeah, it wasn't about the fight. You weren't expecting.
No, I know, but
you weren't expecting the Rocky version of the Ali story.
No, it just felt like an HBO version of something. If that makes sense.
It was a Michael Mann biopic. It was more about the man than what he did. It was more about his protest of the Vietnam War than anything, and his redemption.
When he became Ali after Cassius Clay. There's a brilliant documentary. I'm assuming you guys have it. I know I keep talking about England being backwater, but we are. But there's a brand new documentary on DVD, exclusive DVD for Christmas, because they're cash in whores, but endorsed by his family and produced by his family. There's a brand new documentary, like 2-hour-long documentary on DVD about Ali right now. And I just bought it, and it's amazing. And if you like boxing and you like Ali, because let's be honest, he was the greatest boxer ever, buy it, people. Thank you, send pictures. Can I have my money right now?
Yeah, I was like, thanks for plugging for that, but I got other questions. We already talked about Rick Flag. We've obviously talked about Deadshot. I do have a question. I do have one issue. Do you think that because Will Smith is the biggest actor in this group, that they're going to try to focus him as kind of the lead?
That's what I'm thinking. Like Jared Leto's playing the Joker, so he's obviously playing a feature role, so he's obviously going to get a significant amount of screen time. Margot Robbie's playing Harley Quinn. She's going to be a significant part of the movie. Anything else? The other character who's going to get the largest portion of screen, it has to be Will Smith. I mean, he's not going to take a movie like this and he's just going to be a bit part.
That's what I'm surprised, because I'm surprised he's got to know that he's going to be. It's an ensemble piece, so.
Is he doing it to address the let's be honest, the obvious backlash that he's feeling towards him right now? So is he kind of like, I'll just take a lesser role?
I think so. I think he knows that his after Earth, his stock is down a little bit, so he's got to get something that's going to get him up. And these franchise comic book movies are.
You know what I'm saying, don't you? Which is a career move. Which is if he does Will Smith, but Will Smith is a supporting role and not yay, I'm in everyone's face. It's gonna ultimately. He's doing it for the wrong reasons, but I think ultimately he's gonna do this because if I just be the guy in the background, gets good scenes written for me, and does my stuff, but I don't steal the scenes.
I mean, if he could pull off being a calm, calculated assassin, which is a role Will Smith has never actually played before, where Will Smith has always been the brash.
Could I, to some degree, even though there's emotion involved with it, I Am Legend was kind of cold.
Yes.
I loved I Am Legend. I felt the movie really worked, especially I
prefer the alternative end on the special edition.
Yeah, I thought that movie really was put together very well. A lot of people give it flack, especially for the ending. I thought the ending worked great. I actually prefer
Sorry, Miguel, which ending?
I prefer the darker ending where he actually dies. I honestly do. I think the lighter tone ending is a little bit too sugary for me. I think it works better when he actually has to sacrifice himself, but that's just me.
No, I agree. Because it's one of those things where the bad guys seem like the bad guys, you know, and
Yeah, but they did the book justice, which was
Yeah.
at the end you realise that they weren't the bad guys. You're the man out of place.
Yeah, he becomes the legend. That's the whole point of it. I am
Yeah.
legend. But I don't want to get into that too much. I kind of want to finish up with the Suicide Squad because I think we are going past our 2-hour mark. But I do want to go over the last two characters, which is Boomerang, played by your favorite actor, Burhan, Jai Courtney. What do you think about that?
Jai Courtney. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck that guy is.
He was the guy that played in Die Hard 5. He was McClane's son.
Oh yeah, that prick.
Yeah, I know. You said it in our Die Hard retrospective. You are not a fan of Jai Courtney.
Yeah, it's because he just doesn't try. That's the problem. He's like one of those guys who gets handed shit. I wonder whose dick he sucked to
It's
get
a
this role.
paycheck, I'll do it.
Oh, what I will suggest to him is this: read up on the material. Your guy's supposed to be Australian, by the way, because he's Captain Boomerang. And try not to sound like you're fucking sandpaper. That's the word of advice I can give you. And if you want to come and find me, I'll give you my email address, which is michaelburhan@genius.com, my Twitter handle, which is twitter.com/michaelburhan, and I'll even give you my snail mail. Come and find me. We can talk this over. You can get angry, get mad, but in the end, you've got to do the role justice, and I don't think you can do because you're shit.
He's also playing Kyle Reese in the Terminator Genesis movie. I forgot
Again,
to mention
this is
that.
another reason why I don't like Terminator Genesis.
Brandon, you seem to know a lot about the Suicide Squad. I don't think we got your opinion on Rick Flag before. What do you think about the Tom Hardy as Rick Flag?
I love Tom Hardy for playing Bane. I will always remember him as Bane. I understand guys got to make some money. I think he should just be Bane, just always be Bane. But I'm glad to see him working within the context of the DC universe again, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, Boomerang, I mean, it could have been anybody that really could have played him. Jai Courtney's just lucky to get into this movie, I think, at this point.
Yeah, Jai Courtney is one of those guys. He reminds me a lot of Sam Worthington, who was the lead in Avatar. Like, he's just kind of those generic,
And obviously in
spear-jawed...
the previous Terminator movie.
Oh, yeah, I think he was in there, too. He was also in the Clash of the Titans remake, which I was not a big fan of.
I kind of like that in a cheesy way. It's not as good as the original, but...
I like the sequel, Wrath of the Titans.
I like them both. I like them both. I thought they were both pretty good. He plays that role pretty good, but yeah, like, just generic action hero guy.
Yeah, I
got
like
really
it.
it sounds really stupid. I'm going to say like homoerotic right now, but I'm going to say it anyway. A good action hero has or needs to have, before they can act, forget acting skills, needs a really good gruff voice that they're not putting on.
And he's got that.
Yeah.
He just sounds like the guy fucking grates fucking tobacco onto his fucking cornflakes in the morning before he eats them.
That's an interesting visual. We got one more we have to talk about, which is... I'm going to ruin this, but Cara Delevingne as Enchantress. I'm not familiar with the character or the actor.
Cara Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, she seems very much like TNA. I think even Harley's, in all terms considered, is a bit of TNA.
But Margot Robbie, like if you saw Wolf of Wall Street, Margot Robbie, that the scene where she's like teasing Leo DiCaprio after she finds out that all that other shit, and where she's not wearing panties and all that other shit. That scene in and of itself proves that this girl can act in at least small doses. So I think her playing Harley is a good thing. Enchantress is, again, just like Boomerang, just a peripheral part of the gang.
I just hope they cast it right, because
she looks good. If you've seen Cara Delevingne, in
oh no, what
picture.
I'm saying though is to me it looks good, but the problem is with the movie of this type that there are so many people invested in fanboys that if a studio wrongfoots one thing, then they spend the rest of their life with hate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having some trouble back there?
Chingle.
Yes. I just knocked over my cup of coffee. Bollocks!
But for me, I would say the same thing. It's I don't know about the rest of the cast in terms of. I think they've
Damn
got
you,
two.
Gravity! I hate you. Sorry.
They've got two important characters. Um, in terms of the Joker and Deadshot, in terms of their castings, they've got it done right. In terms of the other characters, it's kind of a crapshoot. Will it be a successful
But
movie?
are they going to do what Marvel does, though? Are they going to be able to blend this? Are they going to be able to do, because let's be honest, Joss Whedon does it brilliantly. Are they going to be able to blend all these people, give them each unique, interesting screen time, but not one encroaching upon the other individual screen time? Or is it going to be like someone else,
Well,
I think you really only you'll get like how the beginning of the movie will be how they were all apprehended, and then kind of like the A-Team. I'm thinking like it's gonna be
Well,
like if you can find them.
I'm actually not worried about this because they got a really great director to write and direct it. It's being written and directed by David Ayer, who wrote and directed Sabotage, End of Watch. He wrote Dark Blue and SWAT. He wrote Training Day and U-571. He just finished directing Fury.
I might be the only person in the world who likes that movie, by the way, U-571.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's a solid, like, old school Navy war movie.
And I like the fact that at the end, because of a backlash, because of Navy vets from this country, that there is a scroll, at least in this country, at the end of the movie that says, by the way, the Americans didn't discover the Enigma machine, that was the British Navy. And they had to put it on the end of the movie because people backlash so much. And I was like, why are you taking this seriously? It's not a documentary. Well, it's got fucking John Bon Jovi in it.
Yeah, but in terms of the director and the writer, I am not worried. I think this guy can spin gold. It's going to be on the actors, and the cast is, from an acting standpoint, for the most part, is pretty solid. I mean, you got some great names there.
Do we still worry, though, going back to what we talked about a few weeks ago, which is, do we still worry that DC is trying a little bit too hard to play catch up to Marvel?
Oh, they are big time.
Overshoot with this.
They are, but at the same time, the Suicide Squad is so new. To me, Suicide Squad is coming off more like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a new franchise that is going to tie into the Justice League universe, but has the potential to be its own thing. Just like how
as they don't give these bad guys a conscience. That's the one thing that I'm afraid they're going to do. They're going to try and over-glorify and over-glamorize these guys as people who you want to care and give a fuck about, because they're not. I think the only person you could really care about to some extent, even though he's an asshole anyway, is Deadshot, because he's got a daughter. Anybody else, no. These guys are fucking rogues in the biggest sense. They're a rogues gallery of assholes and shit fuckers, of the worst.
Well, that's not the point I worry about, though, which is, please don't, for the sake of having a sequel or returns, kind of take the source material out the window or twist it, which I get you do to some degree in any movie about when you base it upon comic books and stuff like that, but don't put like an endearing factor that, hey, it turns out at the end of the movie we're all nice people, simply because you want box office, because better fucking stick to the characters.
I think the only way you're going to be able to make these characters stay villains is you got to create a bigger villain. You got to get somebody who can make them look like saints, even though they're despicable people. And I think David Ayer's going to craft his villains like that.
Yeah, but
it's one of the reasons I am.
The thing is, the Joker is not human in a sense. He's sadistic. He has a method to his madness, but he's still fucking batshit crazy. The same can go for Harley.
Well, Batman said that about him. That's what I like about the Joker. Based upon his sadistic nature, Batman actually this is the 90s, actually said when Batman classed his Joker as superhuman, and he's not superhuman. He's human. He goes, no. His body is weak, but his brain is like nothing you've ever seen before in your life. And I went, but he's a crazy madman. He goes, no, he's superhuman, because what he thinks, what he could do, and what he's prepared to do is above any other individual on the planet.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Joker will go over what most people would seem as, even like most rogues would seem as insane. Deadshot, if Deadshot looks at something, he has kind of a moral compass. Not very much so, but he has a kind of moral compass. Whereas the Joker is kind of a sadistic son of a bitch for the point of being a sadistic son of a bitch. he will basically kill you. You know.
I always say to people when they say like, "Oh, the Joker, he's not that bad. How bad is he?" And I just say, read the Jason Todd storyline.
Killing Joke.
Yeah.
I think Killing Joke is way worse because, like, you know, he does it for humiliation purposes.
Yeah, the thing.
And forget X Factor and Pop Idol and these things these days, but people seem to forget that the vote, because Jason Todd was not a liked Robin.
No, that's why they killed him off. People hated
people
him.
seem to forget that his demise was basically up to the fans.
And he was so hated that for the longest time it was a mandate in DC that you were not allowed to bring his character back. He was one of those characters that was persona non grata.
I was very surprised he did. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that after a while they just ran out of ideas and they were like, let's bring back Jason Todd. Same thing happened to Bucky over in Marvel. He was persona non grata for the longest time until they decided to bring him back in the Winter Soldier storyline. You know, and that was
I'm not gonna lie, changed my mind. Like, brilliant piece of writing and shit, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But no, the point I was going to make about Jason Todd, just to have a pop at the establishment, which is people go on about me particularly, which is fucking X Factor and Strictly Come Dancing and all this shit and fucking voting and stuff like that, and it's like, well, I hold comic books dear to my heart, and we beat a lot of them to the punch because we did that way back in the day with the fucking Jason Todd, Should He Live or Die? And when he died, and I have that book, oh my god, beaten to, sorry people, spoilers, but you haven't seen this, so you shit out, trust me, you're not going to lose anything over Jason Todd dying, but beat the shit out of him with a crowbar.
Yeah. It was rough. That was rough, but yeah, you know what? I'm not worried. This is the one DC property that I think really does have legs. I think down the line, once they start incorporating it into the DC universe, because, like I said, I guarantee you they're setting up Jared Leto to be Ben Affleck's first big villain, but that's way far down the line.
But the thing is, I just don't understand why they're bringing him in now, because they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
I have a feeling this is going to be an origin story. This is going to be young Joker. I have a weird feeling that this is going to... They're going to build him up as... Maybe not as seasoned as you would expect the Joker, very roguish almost, and maybe that might be a bad idea. I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see actual footage.
I get what you're saying, Miguel, and you're right. It's good. It's a brilliant observation, but I'm kind of a little bit pensive, which is I'm worried that are you going to go that route because you can either get it right or you can fuck it up. There's no middle ground, if that makes sense.
Well, it's all going to depend on how much how much Warner Brother gives David Ayer leeway, because it could be like Man of Steel or Green Lantern, where it's just studio interference down the tubes. But that's
fucking
neither here nor
explosions. This Michael Bay, this motherfucker.
Thoughts on the Suicide Squad coming up? What type of potential do you think this has?
It has potential. But there is also potential to fuck it up. So I will say it's on my watch list, as in something that I will watch when it comes to cinemas, if the Batman vs Superman movie does well. If it doesn't, then I'm probably going to end up saying fuck this noise.
All right, Dave, you got your final thoughts on the Suicide Squad?
I think it's a very bold call and decision, and I like that, because Guardians of the Galaxy proves that you could take something that people would scoff at, your average cinema watcher who knew nothing about comic books went to watch that movie. So it has massive potential. But for those of the individuals who are invested in the comic book, bold call, don't fuck it up, don't dumb it down, don't dumb the characters down. It's because this is what I worry about. It's not going to be an R-rated movie. It's going to be a PG-13, which, granted, we get away with a lot more than we did back in the day, but it's just bold call, treat it with respect. Because if you do this wrong, you're going to, and rightly so, piss a lot of people off. But if you do this right, then gold for us fanboys.
Brandon, you have the final say. What's your thoughts on the Suicide Squad moving forward?
Basing a movie entirely around a cast of villains is a risky move because, again, who's your hero? Who are you really going to focus? Who's your audience really going to gravitate towards? I know Joker's going to have a lot of people,
That's That's hipsterism, though.
Yeah, Joker and Harley are going to have a lot of people, have a lot of their fans, stuff like that. So those are probably going to be the characters people have the most attachment to. Maybe you're the Amanda Waller fetishists like myself. I don't know where this is going to go, though. Yes, I believe, like you, I think if they're going to trust anybody to write this movie, David Ayer is a great choice to do it. But it's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
Okay, and I think that's a great place to end. Yeah, that's a great place to end off on because we have gone way longer than expected. We can't even get. We were gonna talk about Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange and the whole news about.
They won't have an extended for news next time episode.
Yeah, we'll start off next week's episode with some extended news. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for next week's episode, and I'll talk to you guys about that during the week.
I might go watch. I'm going to see Battle of Five Armies next week, so I might not be here.
That's fine. We do appreciate you coming on, man. I've been trying to get you on for months now. I do want to get you on somewhere down the line because we usually have a tradition we do with our guests where we have them do an episode where they talk about their guilty pleasure movies, and I've been wanting you to do an episode on that. So
yes,
we'll see how that.
I actually have to compile the list of guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
movies.
5 guilty pleasure movies you
Pitch
like.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Pitch Perfect is.
There's one thing I do want to say before we end the show is, if they got Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark in the same room, do you think the both of them would point to each other,
break the internet,
and say, "Elementary, my dear Watson"?
Oh, you know that they're gonna have that line pop up. It's a given. But Brandon, you are a guest of honor today. You have the honors. Where can we find you?
Brandon Allhope on the Twitter. Apparently nothing on your Instagrams. Hit me up on the Facebook if you want. Watch my Twitch streams. Brando Calrissian 420. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. Go forth and spread beauty and light.
You don't want to promote Slamcast?
Oh, Slamcast every Friday on this very YouTube channel.
Yeah.
How are we on this Friday? I do apologise about last week.
This Friday we are going to talk a lot about CM Punk signing to the UFC, guys.
I said we were going to not talk about Punk, and yet here we are going to talk about Punk. God damn you, Phil Brooks.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he broke the internet yet again. On a freaking
I
live
know.
episode of I Got Gameplay, the guy basically signs with UFC. On a cast
Speaking
that
of,
Miguel was watching.
I got to get that ballot out, too, by the way.
So, yeah. And also, I'm going to hold myself up here to fight Punk. If they want someone at his level, pick me. Pick Michael Burhan to fight Punk. I would so happily beat the living shit out of CM Punk, and
he'll take a beat down for 5 figures.
I can't wait for Slamcast this week because the whole Punk thing that you've fed me, you guys, and I've been keeping an eye on, which is I have so much to talk about Punk being in that environment. But we'll save that for Slamcast.
Yeah, well, I might make it too in case unless something happens. You know, me and that whole social life thing that I've tried to avoid.
So this Friday on this very episode of Slamcast, Eat, Sleep, Big Show,
I'll set my alarm clock properly this time.
We've already got the episode title. It's Eat, Sleep, Big Show, Heel Turn, Repeat.
Love it. Burhan, you challenged CM Punk to a fight, so where can we find you besides in the ring?
Before I basically say what should we find, Pat Amish just says, I fear you might be right about shoehorning and the consents of making it schmaltzy and general audiences think they like dark, but they can't handle it, so don't know, depends on how much money matters over story. Amanda said, Amanda fetish, haha. This should be a good
hold on. Before I let you do your plugs, I'm going to say this. Ladies, if you have Skype accounts and you want to make an appearance on the show, let Burhan know, and we'll see.
I've tried to get her on the show. She doesn't like to talk. She just likes to comment, and she likes to listen to me talk.
I think Patty should come on the show.
I think Patty should as well. Patty is awesome.
She knows movies better than I do.
By the way, do not shorten her name any more than Patty, because I've just been yelled at twice. I've had caps coming out the wazoo, so make sure that doesn't happen. But
Did you call her Pat?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, bad move.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
She said she's going to take a plane and kick my ass. Go to www.nerdgenius.com. That would be a fight to see. Yeah, nerdgenius.com. You can find this
My
podcast.
5 quid's on her, mate. No offense.
Yeah, I probably would as well. You can find Slamcast. You could find I Got Gameplay, which this is actually officially the 201st show on the Retro Unlim network. So we were celebrating our 201st show on this lovely network. Over 20,000 views on the network. I Got Gameplay shooting through the roof as well. Expect a new video coming from me tomorrow, which is my long delayed review of Tales of Heart R, which will be debuting on my YouTube channel and also on the Nerd Genius site.
No, by the way, Mike, I changed my hours on a Sunday. So I start at 10 in the evening and work to 6. So I did that. So you know, not anyone else knows this, but Saturday's not a good day for me. But I changed my hours, so hopefully I can be on some of your I Got Gameplays.
You're more than welcome to be on. And and Amanda goes, "What?" I said no to the sports one. Well, I'll reaffirm what Miguel was saying. Amanda, Patty,
Patricia.
I nearly made a faux pas there. Both of you are welcome to join us on Skype via Skype. Just give me a PM. Give Brandon a PM if you want. Amanda, if you want to add me, you can add me through Brandon. Depends if he's funny about stuff like that. Who knows? You can basically just send me a message with your Skype names, and I will add you. And you can come on the show.
And please do.
Brave, just like the rest of us boys here, because this is just the boys' club. We believe in equal opportunity
it's
bashing.
Swamfest. We need birds.
Yes, equal opportunity bashing. So back on that. dailymotion.com/nerdgenius. There's also been quite a bit of news about me on IMDb. Check out me on IMDb. It's been announced quite recently that we are producing under my company Enigma Entertainment a couple of projects. Perspective, that is going to be debuting at a film festival in terms of a comedy. Glass Mirrors, that will be debuting on the Cannes Short Corner. I'm hoping that it wins. And also the Silent Hill television series called Silent Hill Genesis, which is the working title currently, which is a prequel to the entire Silent Hill universe. Check that out. Check all those projects out. The Indiegogo for Silent Hill Genesis is coming, guys. Yes, I'm a moron because I've been promoting the crap out of it, but I haven't put it up yet. There are reasons. We want to make sure that we've got all the gifts and ideas that we want for each and every one of you that contribute, so that we can do that. I am going to be running around pitching to companies as well to see if we can get some very subtle product placements. We have been discussing that as well, and trying other out-of-the-box tricks to kind of get us the funds that we need to shoot this pilot and get it out there and get it out for everyone. So, I love you all. Thank you, everyone, for your support for the show, for the network, for everything that we're doing. And yes, we're going to be updating the site as well with more Untitled movie shows. I'm currently on episode 30. I'm still making rounds. Going back through Blog Talk Radio to migrate those as well. There are some huge changes that are going to be coming with the first year anniversary of the station, the second year anniversary of Retro Unlim. Make sure that you guys check that out. Watch for further updates and announcements coming up with the new year. And also from I Got Gameplay every Saturday, which this Saturday will be hosted by Brandon Ligon again. It will be part 2 of our Generation Awards. So make sure you check that out, guys. First one, people have been giving some great feedback, Brandon, so kudos to you.
Cool, man. We got to get the balance
Oh, and
out
by the
there,
way,
everybody.
I have to say really, really quickly, Brandon, I was talking to Patty behind the scenes, and he said, "This Brandon cat, he's cool." So
Thanks. I try to be cool.
Brandon is awesome, man. He's one of the originators of this whole network thing. He's one of the forefathers.
Yeah, if he hadn't got fired, there would never have been a network.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
Hey, man.
You know what? Hey, happy accidents happen and become very important things in history. So there's something there. Dave, where can we find you?
Find me at Lawn Boys Post 1975. Everything retro. I'm not going to pen myself in anymore. It's basically retro video games, but I have massive, including the video I'm going to make live tonight, which is my massive nostalgic waffle, which is, do you remember where you were when Sonic 1 came out?
Ooh, that's actually kind of nice, very artsy.
And so if you like pointless vlogs, there was going to be a Wednesday vlog this week, but I woke up late, so it'll be a Thursday vlog.
Hey, Dave,
but yeah, video games, retro games, shit, and stuff like that.
Just do a joint blog on Thursday.
You want to?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Ooh, check that out.
How do we make it live to my or your channel? Because I'm shit at
What we'll
stuff.
do is I will do it with you. I will edit everything together, and then I will send it to you via email, and you can make it live on your channel.
Because I want to talk about Christmas because everyone knows I love Christmas.
Then we do it together.
And,
Yep. I'm happy doing that.
I want to talk about your greatest Christmas memories ever of all the cool retro shit toys and computer games you got.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, and you can also catch us here, well, me specifically, every Wednesday night hosting this little humble show of mine, the Untitled Movie Show. You can also follow us on twitter.com/unmovieshow. I just posted the link for this week's episode up right now, so if you're a fan of Twitter and you've got a Twitter account, make sure to follow us on there, twitter.com/unmovieshow. You can keep up with the show. We'll be coming back here next Wednesday for an episode, and I think I might have just come up with the idea, but I'm going to talk to it with you guys after the show. So for myself, for our guest Brandon Ligon, for Michael Burhan, and for Dave Wade, this has been the Untitled Movie Show. Take us out, Jay.
Jay, come on, take us out. We're waiting for you, Jay.
Bob Slurm.
We're waiting. We're waiting for you, Jay. Honestly, this guy's so tardy.
No, Pete, moment of the week.
Go for it. Beauty and light.
Celebrity voices are impersonated. No celebrities were harmed in filming of this episode.
Excuse me, sir. The show's over.
Get away, zit-face.
Stop doing DC freaking movies that don't make sense. I think that kind of made sense. I don't think I made sense. Bye.